How y'all doing? This is Kenny from the Walking Dead game. Well, actually, it's Gavin Hammond. I played him in the game, but it's not important. The important thing is you're listening to The Gaming Outsider.
Welcome to the Gaming Outsider podcast. On this week's episode, Zack, Alyssa, Jacob, and I are kicking off the holiday season by sharing ours and our listeners' Christmas wish lists. In news, there are more live service games shutting down, but Marvel Rivals sure came out the gate swinging. Lots of new games to talk about this week. We'll hear our impressions of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reavers Remastered, and an adorable game where you play a cat called Stars in the Trash. Additionally, Mark, Rel, and Thomas stop by to talk about their time with Proverbs, Overthrown, and NAIRI Rising Tide. Spoiler alert, one of those reviewers is considering a perfect score for one of those titles. This is The Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to The Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com or on our Facebook group, which can be found at facebook.com/groups/thegocast, and even a Discord. If you'd like to join, there is a link in the show notes of this very episode. It is Tuesday, December 10th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Zack Parkerson. What's up?
Not much, man. Never going to look at Luigi the same way again.
Never gonna. Oh my goodness! Don't get me started on that. Give me a second. Oh my goodness. The Franco brother.
Oh yeah, Dave Franco.
Dave looks just like Dave Franco. Anyway, also joining us, Miss Alyssa White. How are you?
Hello. How are you doing, Scott?
I am doing all right. I have got a fake smile on my face. Work sucks.
Nice.
I'm gonna have a good time in this episode.
Wow, you're filling me with
He
confidence.
does indeed have a smile on his face, but it looks genuine to me. So
I've gotten
you're a
very
good
good at it
actor.
over the years. Very good at it over the years. And also joining us, Mr. Jacob Gunderson. How are you?
Greetings and salutations.
Good to see you, man. CB could not join us this week. Hopefully we'll be able to get him on next week. But it is the Christmas season. I'm looking forward to talking about Christmas wish lists with you guys and our listeners. But let's jump right into the games that we've been catching up on. Zack, I did not see this until I looked at this. I did not know you were playing this game. I'm really excited to hear about it.
That's right. Well, yes, I'm finally jumping into Mini Shoot Adventures on behalf of Scott Clark.
Now I really have to play Void Bastards, don't I? Or what is it?
Wild Bastards?
Wild Bastards, yeah.
We'll see. Mini Shoot Adventures is exactly, it's just straight up top-down Zelda, but a twin-stick shooter.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, there's no room for misinterpretation there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fun. I don't know. I mean, it's smoother, I guess, than Zelda in some way because you're moving around, zipping around. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun time. There's no story to speak of whatsoever, obviously. Although you are rescuing spaceships and they're kind of adorable about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
There's a little story. It's just not talked about.
True.
The little emotes of like, that's the evil guy.
Yeah, you don't want the evil guy.
I love the fact that like your ship can like fall into water or fall into like holes.
Right, even though it's a spaceship.
It's a spaceship.
Yeah, you have
It's
to,
a
like, you have to-
hovercraft. Give it a. Come on, cut it some slack.
Yeah, the opening animations sure imply that it's a full ship. They're pretty high in the air in the intro.
Mm-hmm.
But you know,
Hey, hovercrafts are powerful in the future.
right? They need, or maybe they have to be together as a group before they can fly.
Falling with style.
Yeah.
Either way, I've only done one dungeon. It looks like there's 4, or at least 4 at the outset, according to that thing you're unlocking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's fun so far. I mean, the Zelda structure is just so satisfying.
And it's a very smart map. They do a really good job of, the gear gated nature of it, and, encouraging to go back and look for more power-ups and things like that. It's just a slick game. That was one of my most pleasant surprises of the year for sure.
Yeah, I could see how you would eat this thing up for sure.
Loved it. Glad you're digging it, man.
Yeah.
And I really feel the pressure. We were having this conversation about Game of the Year discussion and what games we should be playing that we hadn't, that
Right.
others were going to be ranking highly. And yeah, you went ahead and laid down the gauntlet.
Oh, well, this is quite a bit cheaper than Wild Bastards.
Yeah, I was going to go pick it up, and I was like, holy cow,
Dude.
that's quite a gamble. Didn't you say it was on sale like right the day before? We were talking about it?
Yeah. Right before I asked you, I was just going to buy it for you because it was on sale for like $20. But
Mhm.
yeah, I missed the window, and that's definitely
All right.
first-person shooters on the Steam Deck are, it's not the best way to play a first-person shooter.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only platform it's on, right?
No, it's on Xbox and PlayStation and Switch. It's everywhere.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying it was not on sale. The Xbox sale ended.
Gotcha.
That's what I was saying.
Well, I'll keep an eye out. Maybe something will happen, or maybe I'll get an Xbox gift card or something like that.
Right.
I want to play it just for prosperity's sake for the end of the year discussion.
Sure.
So. Alyssa, what about you? Catching up on anything?
I'm still playing Life is Strange Double Exposure. I'm on chapter 4 out of 5, so I'm assuming I don't have much left, but could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Still really enjoying it. It's getting juicier, and there are more twists and turns, and I just with the mystery involved, and there's some more elements.
Come on.
Yeah, I went. My mind went south for sure. I thought it was like,
well, yeah, it's south, all right.
Maybe saucy was the word I heard, even though you said juicy.
It's not really saucy. No.
But certainly,
I just heard
women's pants.
If you're hoping for that,
I heard what I wanted to hear, Alyssa.
I know. I was just letting the audience know
pants.
it's not a saucy game.
No, but thank God they're out of high school in this one. Jesus, Scott.
Yeah, they're in college now.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all above board now.
There we go. Okay, cool.
Anyway.
Go ahead, Alyssa.
I just really like, being Max Caulfield again and going through her life and just seeing what's happening and unraveling the mystery. And yeah, I'm just a sucker for it. It's a narrative game. Of course, I'm going to love it. So I'm really enjoying my time with it. But I am hoping to finish it soon because there is another game I want to play that I know you guys will be talking about later.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm glad you're liking it because it feels like it's being received quieter than all of the other Life is Strange games.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well.
Yeah.
I will say it's not as good as the first game, but I
Sure.
mean, the first game was exceptional. But it's really good. Like, it's better than Life is Strange 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
True Colors was really good, but that was almost not even a Life is Strange game in a way. But I mean, I really like it. I don't know why it's not getting more buzz, especially since the other games received more than this one did.
Right, yeah. I thought the return of Max would be enough, but maybe it just released at a bad time, and there's 1,400 other games around it.
That's true. Yeah, it was a bad release window.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any good ones left anymore. Games never stop.
That's true.
Jacob, what about you, sir?
I'm playing some random shop simulator game I found on Steam called Old Market Simulator. I'm a sucker for these, and not really for the idea of like I like owning a shop or whatever. I like playing indie games and seeing how the developers handle certain situations, so I play a bunch of them together. There's another game that I'm going to play right after this called Laundromat Simulator.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. You get a little laundromat and then I don't know. The opening scene of it is just you standing in front of a dryer, just watching it spin. So it intrigued me because I'm a sucker for
that.
Games.
Intrigued you.
I'm
the opening title screen intrigued you to play this game.
I played Chair Simulator for I think 40 hours or something, and it's just
Are you a chair?
No, you sit in a chair.
Oh.
That's all you do?
And then you get points for sitting in the chair, but you can't sit for too long because you get fatigued. And so you have to stand up every now and then and re-get the...
Yeah, the old scoliosis gets you. Yeah. I know that personal experience.
Which, that game is funny enough, that has it uses the "you died" scene from Dark Souls. Uh-huh. So if you sit for too long, you like pass out or whatever, and then it's like, you died. And then you got to start over. But Old Market is interesting. It's kind of the new style of graphics. It's really blocky, but there's still obviously people. But it's got farming, fishing, trading, just different things that are happening that you kind of want out of a market simulator. I'm having okay fun with it. I'm playing this game different than I usually play other games because usually I try to go the route of like, oh, okay, I want to get as many people into the store as possible. And this one I'm just like, charging max price for everything. I don't care about anyone. But you're stranded on an island and I'm the only shop. Eat it.
What separates the old market from the new market?
I have to light my store by candlelight and they go out every now and then, so you're kind of like running around like keeping the lights on. Your shop gets dusty instead of like actually dirty. Things don't get broken. You play with coin and not money.
Oh, so
I mean,
is
not
it,
really.
how old is the old market? Is it like the 3rd century or something?
This looks like a bunch of people trapped on an island. Like this is like evolution of Gilligan's Island.
Okay,
You get a
all
boat and you travel around and
Sick.
you fish off the coast and stuff, and then you come back to a bunch of people who are just like you sell the same stuff to the exact same people over and over again, and they never get sick of it. So I don't know, but yeah.
Gilligan's Island is entering late stage capitalism.
Yes.
I mean, hey, if you're stranded on an island, you gotta take what you're given. I mean, you gotta eat the same fish.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
It's a
but
shame they didn't.
But what games are they going to play? If
I was gonna say it's a shame they didn't crash on our island. Man, you can play video
Right.
games there.
Yeah.
I mean, he did have the captain. The captain was a pretty fun guy. So
as captains
Captain.
or want to be. I have been making some progress in Void Rot. You remember me talking about the new 2D gear gated game that I've been playing? I've been playing on Switch.
Oh, the one with overwrought dialogue.
Yes, and I
Yeah.
think I actually sent you a screenshot. Did I not?
You did. Yes, that's true.
oh, that's crazy.
Still no idea what's going
get
on
that.
in that game, but
Oh, that's kind of messed up. Jay, he also asked.
I didn't receive it either.
Well, our secret is
no,
exposed, Scott. Our
right.
secret messages about Void Rot.
oh my goodness,
They know all about him.
I will screenshot them for you and share them with you guys
No.
later.
No, I don't need it. I've already been excluded. I don't need to be included.
Oh
Thank
my
you
Yeah,
very
goodness.
much.
he doesn't want the
Yeah,
pity
we don't need a
screenshots.
pity inclusion.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, if you remember last time I talked about this game, it wasn't really a complaint, but it was more of a statement. At the beginning of the game, I felt like I was just going to one point and then going all the way back to the beginning point, and I was like, man, this game just it's not linear in nature, but there's just not a whole lot of branching paths. Since then, I've opened up much more of this game, and it's actually kind of brilliantly designed in terms of, like, when you play Metroid or something like that, there is a definite order that you have to get items in, right? Like, you get your missiles, and then you get your super missiles, and then you get your power bomb, and then, you know what I mean? You go through, you have to go progress in a specific order. And the way Void Rot works that I've learned is that you can go in any order you want to. So you go find some power up, and that's going to open up different areas, which might but you don't have to start there. So I have a love-hate relationship with that mentality, because at the beginning, I was given a waypoint as to where I needed to go to get that first power up, and then after that, they just stopped giving you waypoints. So I spend so much time wandering, just trying to figure out where to go. And I wish I had started the game a little bit differently, because this game actually allows you to mark your map. They give you like 4 different icons that you can do. So I kind of, in my mind, have marked areas on the map that mean, oh, I need a double jump here, or I'm going to need the hook shot here, kind of thing.
Smart.
And I didn't mark that along the way because I'm not used to doing that. I just figured I would do it once I started getting powers. And now that I have the powers, I'm like, oh, now I have that thing that I need somewhere, but I have no idea where it is anymore. So I wind up just going in a circle trying to find these spots. And then now that I know that's what I need to do, now I'm marking things, and it makes it a little bit easier. So the lack of direction is both frustrating and refreshing. Frustrating just because I'm trying to get through it as quickly as possible because there's another game that I want to play. But so it's not a knock on the game. It's just I was hoping to have this finished before Indiana Jones came out, and that clearly did not happen. So the art style continues to be great. The bosses are difficult. I got stuck on a boss for a good hour and a half, probably, having to do it over and over again. It really tested my reflexes. And I looked it up, and people are saying that it's all downhill after you pass this boss. It is, the bosses get much, much easier. I actually fought another boss after that one, and I beat it on the first try. Like, it's just, but on the same token, because you can go in any order, I went to this boss with hardly any upgrades, like health upgrades or mana upgrades, that kind of thing. So I kind of went into that ill-equipped, as it were, because the game allows you to do that. So it's kind of interesting because you can go back and, I'm not going to say grind, but you can just keep searching to power yourself up and maybe unlock something else. So if you hit a wall with a boss, you can go back and keep going. So it's a really interesting game. I'm really digging it. I just want to be done with it, not because of poor quality, but because of other things that I want to be playing. Also, I did get a chance to play Baldur's Gate this weekend with Kevin and Paul, and I got an update. Would you like to hear my update?
As long as it's not about Balatro.
Yeah.
Where's the... Well, cue the music, right? Cue the little Baldur's Gate music.
Let's start it up. So, this week, we had a couple different paths that we could take in Baldur's Gate 3. If you remember, there is the current, not the big bad, but a big bad. There's a guy named Gortash. He's the one that blew up the underwater prison I talked to you about a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
We are not in his good graces anymore, for sure. And so we had the decision to go confront him, or just to do some wandering. And we decided to go try to confront him and see what happened. So we did a quick save and walked in, and there were a bunch of these, oh boy, I cannot remember. Watchers, I think is what they're called. Have you gotten into Baldur's Gate, Jacob? Like the city of Baldur's Gate in that game? No. So they're kind of like the police of Baldur's Gate. They're these massive, like, robotic creatures. And we walk in, and there's two of them, and that's a big deal. And I was like, you know what, why don't we just try it, guys, and see what we can do? Because there was two of those and a bunch of smaller ads. And we wound up rolling really well. Had a great fight, took them out. And I'm like, guys, let's just keep going. Let's see what happens.
You got cocky.
We go into another room, and there was like another couple more and some other ads, and we were able to take them out. It worked really, really well. And I was like, man, this is awesome. Let's quick save. Let's try it again. I see some chests up on the second floor that we could probably get to. Go in there, I open the door, and I kid you not, 8 of these things and a whole bunch of other ads. And we promptly got our butts handed to us. So we decided we're not going to do that anymore. So we got to find either another way to infiltrate and get closer to Gortash, or we got to do some serious leveling up, because taking on 8 of those guys is just not going to happen. But we decided to start exploring Baldur's Gate proper a little bit, and we came across this building that had a shopkeeper in the middle, and at the top there was a guy standing in between 4 portals. And we talked to this guy, and he is really all about, if you remember, there's a character when we fought one of the big bosses at the end of the first act, I believe, maybe the end of the second act, that was voiced by J.K. Simmons. And we fought him, and the reason we won is because we summoned this, the character's name is escaping me at this point, but it was Moonflower. Moon Knight? No, not Moon Knight. That's a Marvel property. But anyway, this character that we came across in his shop is obsessed with this character that is now not in our party, but she's in our camp. And he just wants to meet her and wants to earn her, her what do you call it when you can never be killed? Immortality. And so we lied to him and said that she was dead. And then we go back to camp and talk to her, and she's like, "Ha! Well, that's awesome you covered for him, but let's go take him on." So I'm like, "All right." So we go in there, and we can't get in because we are now made. This guy knows who we are. So this is the first time that I did a roguey thing in this fashion. I actually disguised myself, and my character disguised himself as a African American elf that was very short in stature, and I think Kevin used some spell to disguise the rest of our party, and we sneaked our way in, faced this guy, and had a really awesome battle against him with a bunch of elemental foes. Like, one was ice, one was wind, one was water, one was fire, and he himself was pretty easy to take out, but the elementals were very tricky. It is so much fun playing with Kevin and Paul because we kind of all work together and strategize, and it just makes those battles really, really great. So had to wrap up after that, but it was quite a good time with Baldur's Gate 3. I checked my timer, by the way. I know you asked when I posted my Xbox stats. Zack, that Baldur's Gate 3 was, I think, my number 1 played game.
Yes. Yeah.
And you asked how many hours it was. When we finished it, we were at 96 hours. So
Holy crap, dude.
I'm closing in on triple digits. So
for one playthrough.
And
people are playing this over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, if you're good at these games, you don't take your time like I do. We really just kind of, wander, and we'd spend a lot of time in the shops and selling gear and upgrading and that kind of thing. There's a lot of...
I guess it's probably slower goings with 3 people as well.
Oh yeah, if you're playing by yourself, it's gonna you're managing all 4 members, so
Right.
you're not having to wait for anybody else. But really enjoying that. So Baldur's Gate 3, I have no idea when I'm going to finish it at this point, but I know who the big the end boss is alleged to be at this point, and I'm really intrigued to see what's going to happen with Gortash. So
You think you'll wrap it up in 2025?
Oh yeah, in 2025 I will for sure. I mean, there's
All right.
no way, but it's fun already making plans for the next run, because this is definitely something that's I'm going to be playing again.
I was wondering, what are you going to do with your friend group when it's over? Are you guys going to roll again? Have somebody else take the lead?
Well, ideally we'd get you in there somehow, because I want to be the guy that has been doing what Kevin is doing and letting somebody else make the decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just kind of watch and see what happens and see how it differs from what I'm doing, and not try not to give anything away, because
Feels so weird being watched on your first playthrough.
I'm enjoying it because it's fun hearing their reactions and then telling me afterwards how they handled it, or we'll go through entire sections where Kevin's like, I missed this entire section on my first run through this game. And it's gonna be fun to be able to play as a different class. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because in my real D&D campaign, I'm playing as a ranger, and I'm playing as a ranger in this. So we did a one-shot once in D&D where I decided to go a completely different route. I think it was a paladin, but that lasted one session. We never went back to it. So I'm looking forward to trying something completely different and just seeing how the gameplay goes and meeting other characters. It's going to be really hard not to focus on Karlach, because Karlach is rad.
Uh-huh.
But maybe force myself to see the stories of some other characters in our party, like Gale. I have no idea what Gale's deal is, and Lizelle isn't. I saw Lizelle at the beginning of the game. That if you know the cover, she's the yellow creature with the really pointy ears.
Oh yeah,
Githraki or something like that, right?
Isn't that Game of Thrones?
No, that's a Dothraki.
Oh, okay.
Dothraki, yeah.
I don't know.
So
I'm taking a guess. I'm not a D&D guy.
We saw her for a second in the opening sequence of the game and never saw her again. So
that's crazy. She's on the box.
I know. Yeah, I think in CB's session in the game he played by himself, he never saw the guy, the silver-haired Astarion. Yeah, he never saw him at all.
Wow,
just kind of crazy. So
yeah.
All right, well, that's enough of what we've been catching up on. Let's go ahead and jump into the week's news. All right, for news stories this week, there is a trailer I wanted to mention as well. There was a whole bunch of trailers dropped at the PC Game Show, but one standout for me was Moonlighter 2, sequel to Moonlighter, coming to PC sometime in 2025. But in other news, Marvel Rivals is pretty popular. Who knew? Publishers that aren't Rockstar are afraid to commit to release dates until GTA 6's release date is announced. Also, Suicide Squad and Foamstar are the latest live service games winding down. And lastly, EA has now opened up a total of 38 accessibility-related patents for free use. Let's see. Let's start with Zack. Zack, what story do you want to talk about?
Oh man, I guess Marvel Rivals is popular.
Yeah.
This kind of goes with another news story, but yeah, Marvel Rivals, man. The game has 10 million players in 3 days, which is it's pretty good for them.
It's pretty good. That's really good.
Season 0 is happening right now. The battle pass is only $5, considering the shorter season, which is probably smart. And subsequent battle passes are $10. 33 playable characters at launch, and seems like people are already horny for them, which seems to be legitimately...
Wait, what?
R34.
Rule 34. Well, and I keep hearing about Squirrel Girl being all caked up, but but I'm saying it's legitimately a path to success for these games is to have horny character designs. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It is. I don't know what you want from me. That's just the reality of the situation.
Okay.
Hypersexualization.
Yes.
I don't even know what Squirrel Girl looks like. I heard that was a character in Marvel, but I know nothing about that character.
She has the whole bakery. not just the cake.
She does actually. Yeah, I've seen the character.
See,
I don't know what that means. Does that
see,
mean
I'm
she's
not
well
alone,
endowed?
Scott.
Just imagine.
Yeah, just slowly. He's looking at his lips.
Imagine
right
what the cake is, and then think about the other.
But anyway, yeah, it's really popular. I think it's good. I feel like it's easy to say it's Marvel. Of course, it's popular, but with Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, we know that's not true, right? It's not necessarily the case.
Mm-hmm.
And it's free to play, right?
Yeah, that helps anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that makes the 10 million players easier, but still, 72 hours, that is impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Super impressive.
How many does anybody here know how much a skin costs in the game?
No, I do not.
I bet it's gotta be like $20, right? You think?
For
to get your,
licensing, I wouldn't put it past them.
That seems like the standard going rate of a character skin these days.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, but.
What about you, Jake? Any story looking
The EA.
All right.
Given EA's backstory, I'm surprised they're giving away anything for free. Surprised they're not charging these disabled people out the nose for access. I mean, It's EA. Come on. They don't put anything behind a paywall, or they put everything behind a paywall, I guess. But I think it's nice of them. I think it's nice that they're making technology and then giving it away for free just to help people out. It's kind of nice. I just wish they would actually spend some of that time and help out their gamers instead of putting everything behind paywalls, because it hurts my feelings. But it's a little heartwarming. It's I don't know if it's just a save face or whatever, but yeah, they've been doing it for 4 years now and finally up to 38 accessibility related patents, so that's nice. I mean, it includes everything from voice to text to emotional readings of lines for people who can't understand what they're supposed to be hearing. I don't know, that was a weird one that I saw, but
that's a disability I'm not
cool.
familiar with. What I don't even.
I've heard about it. Yeah. Sometimes people on this, just from my knowledge, some people on the spectrum can't differentiate emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be one specific use. But
gotcha. Hey, it's cool to see a company that. I mean, I feel like EA used to get crapped on a ton back in the day. I feel like that's eased off a little bit in recent years.
That's why I'm glad we're talking about this, because they're this is a company that was voted worst company in America 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Some years ago, and here they are just doing a good thing just because, which is rare. I mean, this is also a company that probably has psychologists on staff to make sure you spend money on Madden Ultimate Team, but it's nice that on the flip side they're actually doing something, and I feel like they do still get crapped on, but they're out there making single player games.
Yeah,
no doubt funded by the addicts on their sports games, but. If a couple of people got to get exploited for me to get a third Star Wars Jedi game, that's just how it is. But I mean, they remade Dead Space, which is a game that already didn't sell to their expectations the first time, but they decided to give it a remake and give it a chance.
Yeah, they're going to give
Mm-hmm.
Dead Space 2 a chance? Because, come on.
No, because Dead Space remake didn't sell either.
So frustrating. That was such a good game.
I know.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Dead Space 2 in that engine? And
That'd be so awesome.
Sure. I mean, Dead Space 2 is still awesome. There's no...
Yeah.
That's fair. You can still play it easily, but
Right.
I just want it. I want a fresh coat of paint.
The Dead Space 1 remake just kind of makes them all flow together better. Because Isaac talks in all of them now.
But it's also like I'm used to games getting progressively better in quality in terms of graphics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas the best one's going to be the first one, and then they go back down. But I mean, hey, Dead Space 2 still looks really good.
Yeah.
Especially
Xbox back compat.
Yeah.
Looks phenomenal. Dead Space 3? I can't remember. I don't know if I'll ever play it, Scott.
Yeah, well, one of these Halloweens, we're going to actually do that.
One of these years.
Do we just break the season spirit and just do it in the summer when my...
Probably just, yeah. We should probably just do it whenever the opportunity arises, or else it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen because, that time of year is very difficult for our schedules to align. So
Right. All right.
But yeah. All right, moving on. Alyssa, is there a story you would like to talk about?
Let's talk about Suicide Squad and Foam Star. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is getting its final season in January, and they'll be introducing Deathstroke as a playable character in a medieval Elseworld. Offline mode is live now, although progression is separate. And then Foamstar's final season begins December 13th and lasts through January 17th, and Square Enix is making previous battle passes available and will continue to rotate old content in for the foreseeable future.
This is really funny, considering we just talked about the success of Marvel Rivals. Granted, that one has the license behind it, right? Like, that's... And it's just... People are...
Is Foamstar not a household brand?
No.
The disrespect.
But I mean, Suicide Squad has...
Yeah.
You know, that's gotta...
Yeah, it does have the branding of 2 box office bombs behind it.
Yeah. But at least you know what they are. And,
actually, I don't know if the first one was a box office bomb, but it was a critic.
Actually, it did very well at the box office, but critics bashed it.
Yeah, no one liked. Yeah.
But yeah, at this point, like, if you're a company that's starting a live service game, are you nervous? You know, if you're on the precipice of announcing it, I mean, the Game Awards are coming up this week, right? Like
right.
Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those companies that's remember, I think it was last year was when what's the one that just got canceled? Concord got announced at the Game Awards last year, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't know if I don't think it was a Game Awards.
I don't think it was either. But
so.
Okay, well, shut my mouth then. But you know, I would imagine maybe we won't be seeing a live service game be announced at the Game Awards.
Yeah, well, I mean, we know Fair Games is coming from PlayStation, right? And that's too far along probably to kill.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're any other publisher, surely you must just be like, it's not. No. If the big properties aren't making it work, we're not going to make it work.
Right.
Like, it's too late.
I mean, especially with Marvel Rivals out now.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just going to go to that.
Well, and who's to say what the lasting impact of that'll be? Because we've seen other flash in the pans game like Helldivers or other ones. The Finals, that was a big one. You know, the games that they're hot for a few weeks and everybody goes back to their old regulars. So, you know, who's to say Marvel Rivals will continue to be popular?
That's a good point.
There's only so much time that we all have, and people are so committed. Because you know, to keep up with this stuff, it's got to be your full-time job, right?
And you don't play anything else.
Yeah, if you really want to keep up with all the content. But you know, shout out to Square Enix and Warner Brothers Games here, because they're actually kind of winding these down in a somewhat decent way, right? Like Suicide Squad having offline mode so that you'll actually be able to play it. You know, the disc will actually be worth something, unlike say a Concord. and Foamstars, you know, they ended their press release by saying, you know, we hope you guys keep playing Foamstars for years to come. So it's just nice that if you're gonna kill a game, at least you're doing it in a somewhat nice way, nicer than you did with Babylon's Fall, Square Enix.
So with Marvel Rivals, it's $1 per 100 of their premium currency, and so it makes some of their skins cost $20 and up.
For Symbiote.
But people will pay it, man. It's Marvel.
Of course, yeah.
That's true, yeah.
I mean, it's just...
A lot of their skins, well, I mean, I'm sure they have a lot of skins available right now because there's so many different costumes that you could add to the Marvels, but a lot of them are available without premium currency. But yeah, some of the better ones are going for $20 and up.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah. All the hits. But
it seems that they have 3 currencies in the game. They have units, which is the one that you units you earn in game. I think it's Lattice you buy, and then Chrono tokens is what you buy the Battle Pass spots with.
Well, I look forward to the Robert Downey Jr. voice pack for $99.99.
If that comes true, dude. I mean, I could see it. I can totally see it.
Yeah.
All right. As for me, I'm going to mention quickly this trailer for Moonlighter 2. I had no idea this was a thing. I am beyond excited for Moonlighter 2. And if you look at the trailer, it looks like they got some money behind it because it really looks different. Like the original game was very pixelated, and this one looks like it's it's smoothed out the edges a little bit, and they've made some changes, but kept the core gameplay the same. I'm so excited for Moonlighter 2. Go read my review. Go play Moonlighter. It is such a fantastic game.
So even though the sequel looks different art style, you're into it?
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, it was more about the formula than the art style that really got me on that game. I mean, the art style was comforting, but I'm not like married to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I actually think the new look is pretty solid, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
It's roguelike dungeon crawling combined with running your own store, right?
Yeah, and it's just it's just an interesting way to do supply and demand. I don't know if you remember me talking about it, but like you set the prices and you watch people's reactions when they buy it. If they're angry, they don't like the price, they're not going to buy it. If they like the price, they're going to be super happy. But if it's just right, they're going to have like this, all right, I'll take it look on their face. So you know that.
Did you say shop?
I was going to say.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a market simulator in some ways.
Oh.
Have you not played this game, Jacob?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't either.
sounds like you
I'll
need
just add it to the list of games.
Sounds like you need to remedy that, man, because this is yeah. If you like shop games, this has got the best of both worlds: dungeon crawling and shopkeeping. And the shopkeeping
It sounds a lot
really
like Sales Blazer.
Sales Blazer, where you sell coats.
It's a third-person shooter, but you're basically doing the same thing. It's a dungeon crawler, and then whatever you find in the dungeon, you bring back to a shop. In the shop, you place items in and upgrade and sell to people.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I think Kevin's got it on his wish list. I know I do.
I mean,
What kind of, it was like a Max Payne third-person shooter or like a Gears of War? What are we talking about here? How are the
Fortnite.
Oh.
way to deflate the conversation.
No, it's more cartoony. It's not as hardcore. It's
More cartoony than Fortnite.
No. I mean, it's not, it's not a dark game. It's bright,
Gotcha.
shiny.
Yeah.
I want to talk about this Rockstar thing just because I thought it was funny. It was reported that GTA 6 is so popular. That game is just. I mean, GTA 5 is still like in the top 10, right, of sales numbers
Right.
each week. It's having effects on the rest of the industry. Currently, the game has a launch window of fall 2025, which who knows if that's even going to stick, right? With how games get delayed. But other publishers are basically avoiding releasing or announcing the release of their game on or around the release of GTA 6 just because they're waiting for them to make the first move. They don't want to make the mistake of having their game release around that time because they know everyone's going to be playing GTA 6. I just thought that was kind of funny.
I mean, so what do you think? Horizon 3 probably come out on that day?
Yeah, right? That's actually a solid point. I mean, that's their MO, right? They just always release it alongside something else huge on the exact same day.
Yeah.
I wonder how much differently that game would have sold if they had picked a different date, but we'll never know. So,
We'll never know.
anyway,
Yeah, I mean, if I was a publisher, I sure as hell wouldn't. I would be like, can we get it out in the first half, 2025?
like when you want to get it out before, right? You wanna,
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
because that's when your biggest sales is that first week, and if you can at least get those sales while people are waiting for that big behemoth of a game to come out.
Yeah.
But that just made me laugh. Like it's the fact that I think the game is so popular and so looked forward to that it's having effects on the rest of the industry in big ways is just insane. And I don't even know if I'm gonna play it. You are, right? You're a big GTA guy, Zach.
Yeah. I will play the hell out of Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah.
I'll play it too.
Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm hoping they don't move the date so that way when I put my vacation request in, it's all good.
Do you see them like just going ahead and bumping this one to $80?
No.
Because I mean,
Wasn't
way
this
it
the
wouldn't
director that was talking about paying per hour?
oh, to pay per hour to play the game, like do a subscription.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, but I mean,
I didn't either.
Here, I'll look up the story real quick.
that I think that would be an awful thing to do. But
Well, no one would do that. I mean,
I mean, they
it's like
do
when-
for World of Warcraft.
That's
it's,
true.
it's a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I remember, the Battlefield director talking about how he wanted that you could
bullet?
charge players for reloads. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So, yeah, but they say these things. But no, I do not think they'll go up to $80. I know that was a big talking point a few months ago.
yeah.
But no, why would they don't need to?
They don't because they're going to sell so many copies.
Right. So why risk any ire at all when you already know you have the industry so much in the palm of your hand that people aren't planning release dates because you might come out.
Right.
Like you already won.
It would be fun to see.
And you could charge $30 for early access in quotes and make a bunch of money that way if you wanted to.
Oh my God. I mean, seriously, I think 75% of the player base would pay the $30 to get it early.
I might finally cave on one.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting. Anyway.
But luckily.
I just think that's I just thought that was a really funny story, and we should like have a pool for like the number of copies that will be sold in like the first 24 hours or whatever. Like,
oh, that'd be interesting.
that'd be fun to like kind of make some guesses.
Because it's gonna be like triple whatever GTA 5's launch numbers were, right?
I can't imagine that. I mean,
especially with how prevalent digital sales are, because now it's as easy as your friends are all, you're like, I'm not going to play that, and then 90% of your friends list is playing it. You're like, well, I guess I will pick it up. And
that's always fun when you go online and you just see that same game listed over and over and over again in your friends list. Maybe then it's just FOMO. It's doing the sales for you.
Yep. It's so rare these days though that everyone's playing the same game.
Yeah.
That definitely used to be a thing.
I mean, that was back when we didn't have 50 games coming out every week.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Everybody's playing Halo 3.
Those days.
They were.
Well, that's because you had one big release every 2 months. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're like, I don't really care about Halo, but everyone else is playing it. I'll pick it up.
Might as well check it out. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So
or you're
easy.
like me, standing in line at the midnight release.
Hell yeah. You got some annoying guy asking you what your favorite weapon is. And you say, I don't know, the Needler, because you don't care. And then he like gives you a hard time about the Needler. And you're like, I don't want to be here.
I mean,
I just want my Halo. Just give me the game.
I'm surprised you don't like digital releases more, man.
Well, because then you have the like the Gears of War 3 midnight launch where I was at, and we were all playing the Horde mode together, waiting for the game. Everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
Those were cool too.
Oh, okay. I was waiting for a but.
No, that was it. That was cool. It was a good time.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's move on. I want to remind everybody about Patreon. If you're listening to this show and it's not your first time, it means you're a fan of it, and we would love it if you would help support us. We kind of pay for the website and hosting services and all that using funds from you guys, and we would really appreciate the support if you could do so. And we would reward you by giving you the episode a day early, or if you pay a higher tier, we give you some bonus content. And as of right now, you can listen to Jacob's Desert Island Games episode at the $3 tier. You can hear my episode with my wife. We're calling that series Married to the Mic. And coming up in the near future, Zack is going to do one of those with his partner, so you can stay tuned for that one. And actually, I think the Desert Island episode with Alan Sheck is out. I apologize. That is out right now, too. So if you want to hear him talk about Catastrophic Inversion and his favorite games of all time, you're going to hear that one as well. If you'd like to help us out.
Cool guy.
He is a cool guy. Go to patreon.com/thegocast. You can pick any level that you choose that fits your budget, and we would greatly appreciate it. With that, we are going to now jump into the new games that we've been playing. Zack, anything new coming on the horizon this week? It looks like a short week or small week.
As you might expect, going into the end of the year, things are quieting down. But we do have Fairy Tail 2, based on, I believe, an anime. Alyssa, is that true?
That is true, yes.
Yeah, I knew you would know. That's coming to PS5, PS4, Switch, and PC December 13th. Zwan Yuan Sword, The Gate of Firmament is coming to PS5 on December 13th. 10 Dead Doves is a narrative horror game coming to PC December 13th. Flint Treasures of Oblivion is a tactical role-playing game where you take on the role of a pirate. That's going to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC December 17th. Botany Manor makes its way off of other platforms and onto PS5 and PS4 December 17th. 2D adventure game Leaf's Adventure Netherworld Hero comes to PS5, PS4, and Switch December 19th. And then Universe for Sale makes its way to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, iOS, and Android December 19th. Did any game on this list intrigue you at all, Alyssa?
Not really, no. I'll probably just stick to Life is Strange and the game I want to play soon.
Right.
Yep.
With it.
Like what Jacob said.
Uh-huh. So what if it gun to your head though? You have to pick one.
Okay, Universe for Sale.
Okay.
It looks weird, but
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by weird, so
Definitely, that explains your intrigue in me.
you're not weird.
But no, it does look weird. What about you, Scott? Are there any weird games on this list for you?
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as Alyssa. There's just too much I want to play right now. But
Mhm.
like you said, gun to my head, Leaf's Adventure, Netherworld
Yeah.
Hero. I love 2D platformers. This one looks, I don't know what like paper. They look like this paper cutout puppets or whatever.
Yeah.
And the
Uh-huh.
and the platforming looks awkward, but it still just looks charming. So that would
Sure.
be my pick.
Awkwardly charming.
Mhm.
What about you, Jacob? The gun is to your head.
I don't need a gun to my head.
All right.
Yar, I'm after that booty.
Oh yeah.
Flint, Treasure of Oblivion looks fun.
I didn't know Squirrel Girl's in that game too.
I mean, I bet I could design her.
Yeah, that's good. I'm with Jacob. I think Flint Treasure of Oblivion looks solid. Much like everybody else here, it's going to get lost in the shuffle. There's just no way. But
The
That's
busy
not a
season has
cowboy
begun.
game.
Yeah.
yeah, right. So I can't make room for it, obviously. Zwan Yuan Sword, the Gate of Firmament. I don't know if you remember a few years ago I reviewed a game, Zwan
I
Yuan
do
Yeah, I do.
remember.
Sword 7, and that was pretty good. This looks very different. So I don't know if it's a spin-off. I don't know enough about this franchise, but I do remember liking the game a lot. I remember getting the platinum. So yeah.
I
I'm
watched the
intrigued.
trailer to that, and I thought it was an app game at first.
So that's brutal, but fair. I just couldn't really tell. It almost looked Jade Empire-y in the combat system. I couldn't really get a feel for the combat, and that was kind of what was turning me off. Because the other Sword 7 was a real-time action game. I couldn't really tell what was happening here.
I'll stick to Dynasty Warriors, thank you.
Understood.
So, moving on to games that we've actually been playing. Zach, you've been playing Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered.
Quite true, Jacob.
How is that going? I remember playing on the PS1. I loved Legacy of Kain growing up. So, how
That
does
was
this?
my childhood.
Did you play the original ones?
So no. Well, I played Blood Omen. I've played
Mhm.
that, and I just got done replaying it in anticipation for this. But my only experience with the first Soul Reaver, I'm sure the listeners are tired because I've mentioned it the past few weeks, but the only experience I had with the first Soul Reaver was playing a few hours of it on Vita, which is a miserable way to play Soul Reaver,
Okay.
as has been confirmed by this remaster.
It is.
Because
Yeah, the remaster looks really good.
It does.
It does,
I
yeah.
have been chopping at the bit to try it, but
I know nothing about this series though, so can you tell me like is it 3D melee combat? I can't really.
Sure. There are vampires in it. I can tell you that.
Okay.
No, the structure of the game, I guess, wouldn't be too far afield of Zelda, right? Let's say, because it's kind of a hub area, and you're spoking
Yeah.
off into different dungeons, and it's ruled over by each of your a vampire lord, and then when you kill them, you get a new ability that helps you traverse the overworld better.
Oh.
Okay. Well, I never thought of it that way, but that's because my uncle never, let me play Zelda or anything as a child, but he did let me play Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. So that was always just its own thing in my brain.
Well, if you like
Zelda's
Soul
the
Reaver,
devil.
Alyssa, then maybe you should try Legend of Zelda. Anyway,
Well,
I should.
It's also it feels like Tomb Raider.
Okay, yeah.
To me,
Well,
yeah.
I would say that was the other game of my childhood, so I can see why my uncle was a fan of both.
It just because those first Tomb Raiders are actually kind of creepy when you play them for a while.
Yeah, they are.
So it's, and Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver has that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So should I start with the story here?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. This takes place 1,500 years after Blood Omen. At the end of that game, you have to choose between restoring. Kain has to choose between killing himself to restore the world, or not doing that and ruling a world even though it will be destroyed, and he opts for the latter.
Wow.
So it's pretty fun to see a game go off of the bad ending. You don't get that all the time. And so it takes place 1,500 years into it, so it's got a very apocalyptic feel. You play as a Raziel, the firstborn of his sons, and Raziel had the audacity of accidentally evolving past him with vampire abilities. He grew wings, and Kain did not take kindly to that. Casts him into the void, the Lake of the Dead, where he is torn apart and tortured for centuries. And then
this is dark.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
So then you wake up as Raziel as a wraith. He's no longer a vampire. He's like undead. He's barely of the material world. He has to eat souls in order to maintain his material form. And that's kind of the crux of Soul Reaver, because now Raziel wants vengeance against Kain and his brothers that betrayed him. And that's the setup of the first game. I can't give you the setup for the second game because the first game actually ends on a to be continued.
Oh, that's cool. So then you get to just like pick right back up and go right into 2 and not have to wait.
Yeah, that's nice. It must have been agonizing back in the day.
But hey, at least they followed up.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
I want to ask about how the game looks, because the trailer I saw had like a side by side comparison or like a before and after comparison kind of thing, and even the original didn't look terrible. Like it looked better than most PS1 games that I remember. It didn't look quite polygonal, but the fresh coat of paint they put on this really made it feel like a GameCube game.
Oh yeah, sure, I can see that.
Like I don't know, like Prince of
It's
Persia
brighter.
or what was the other one? The Bounty Hunter. It just had that kind of look to it.
Yeah, I would agree. It's got kind of give it a PS2, like a late stage PS2 look.
Yeah.
To it. Yeah, and and the redone character models especially make Raziel and Kain look like the box art, which is nice because they did not in the game. And of course, like Aspire's Tomb Raider remasters, you can swap between the graphics whenever you want at the press of a button.
Oh, it's fun.
That's cool.
And it's hard not to just tap that during the cutscenes, or while you're exploring. It's just fun. And but the character models I think look a lot better now. I'm sure if you're a fan of the original, I'm sure you'll have nostalgia for how it looks. Like in the Tomb Raider remasters, I definitely ran around in the PS1 style a lot more than I did here in Soul Reaver, just because it's fresher to me. And yeah, so the remaster efforts are incredible. The graphics are wonderful. The environment's nice. It's got all these bonus features as well on the remaster. So like it's got cut content from the game, because first Soul Reaver especially had a bunch of cut content. It's somewhat infamous for it. Like you're supposed to be all these elemental upgrades for your sword that were cut from the game, and now all of those forges are restored. You can't really do much in them, but you can walk around them. And it's just like it's a cool preservation thing.
Oh, it's just like
that's unfortunate
to look at, not like the actual using combat.
Right, yeah, like a museum style thing. It's not like they didn't like director's cut fix the game or something like that.
Yeah.
No, I think that might have been disrespectful to the original team to do too much. So all that stuff's incredible. And it's got like all these outtakes, behind the scenes stuff. It's a very cool package.
One of the things you said in the closing paragraph of your written review, which is available on thegamingoutsider.com, is, and I'm paraphrasing, I don't have it right in front of me, but you said even if you haven't played it originally, do not miss this collection. Yeah.
Well, it was the story is unbelievable. I mean, the whole atmosphere is this creepy vampire apocalypse, and it's this revenge epic. But the writing is unbelievable for PS1. And the game, these games were written and directed by Amy Hennig, who you would know as the creator of Uncharted. And the stuff she's whipping out here is unbelievable. The way they're talking in like very verbose metaphors, and it's the performances are very theatrical, like not over the top, but like feels like stage actors.
That's cool.
And it's got kind of a Shakespearean quality to it, and these characters, these vampires, like ruminating about predestination and free will, and the gambits they're making in the game of fate, and it's just the way everybody talks is so fun. It's a very cutscenes of the reward sort of adventure, which was more common back in those days. And it's you're listening to every conversation. It's just dripping with intrigue and just high quality writing, and the voice actors, Michael Bell and Simon Templeman are just, they're crazy. I mean, it's just unbelievable how ahead of its time it was in that regard.
You're really intriguing me on this game for sure.
Yeah.
Do I have to have played the can't remember what it was called,
Blood
Blood
Omen?
Omen?
No, I think all you need to know from Blood Omen is that Kain chose to destroy the world.
Okay, gotcha.
That's really all you need to know. And then the actual the structural gameplay, I guess I should briefly mention. A lot of puzzles. You're gonna have to use your brain. Soul Reaver 1 especially has a lot of block puzzles.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you like block puzzles. Soul Reaver 2 has I haven't finished it yet, but I'm halfway through, but the puzzles are a lot more creative and there's not a lot of repeats. And I've barely encountered any blocks. So that was fun.
Like sliding block puzzles, or
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, you have to flip them over and line up pictures against walls or there's one puzzle, for instance, that is a bunch of blocks that have holes in them and you have to use it as a pipe to flow some water. It's just
that's clever.
Yeah. No, they do clever things with them. It's just funny in the first Soul Reaver that boom, block puzzle. It's always happening.
It's like Last of Us. We need a puzzle. Let's make a floating pallet.
Yes, it is similar to that. Yeah, or where's the ladder? Where's the ladder?
Yeah.
Similar to that. Yeah, but then combat is somewhat simple, but it's not like a huge combo system like Devil May Cry or anything. But what really I think makes it fun is that you're fighting vampires for the most part, so you have to actually stake them or throw them in sunlight or toss them in water. You have to actually kill them via vampire methods, which is really fun.
That's cool. If you're a vampire, why are you hanging out by water?
Well, it's the world, man. What are you gonna do?
I guess.
Yeah. It's all over the place. And then you have to eat their souls. It's super cool because every time Raziel, he's missing his bottom jaw, so he hides it with a scarf because he looks so hideous. But then when he's got to eat the souls, he just rips open the scarf and just zips into him.
Dude, that is rad. How have I never played this game?
It's super. It's so badass.
Well, I think I have something to add to our discussion later. From the outside in topic.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it's incredible, man. It would be hard not to get sucked into this world.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. Yeah, I love it, man. I'm glad because I feel like I've been building these games up in my head for 20 years because I just kept not being able to play them, and they're lived up to the hype.
That rarely happens, man. So that's really great
Yeah.
to hear. Now you're playing on PS5, right?
Right.
But it is also available on Xbox, Switch, and PC. Developed by Aspyr and Crystal Dynamics, published by Aspyr, and we got a copy from Sandbox Strategies. And the game is $29.99. That's 2 games. That's
Yeah.
I believe I said in the closing paragraph you referenced, Scott. I said it would be a bargain at twice the price.
That's the line I was trying. Yes, bargain and twice the price.
I mean, this package is
That's smooth.
it's great, dude. Oh, you know what? Real quick though, the first Soul Reaver, especially the second one, is a little more linear, but the first one has so much stuff you don't have to do, and it's just hours of content.
Yeah,
and it's very surprising for PS1. But you'll just find a discarded skull of a giant off in the corner, and then it leads to a whole dungeon, and at the end of it you get a spell that you otherwise wouldn't have, and it's not necessary for anything. It'll probably just be a fire AoE attack or something, but you get a tangible reward for finding this thing and exploring it, and none of it was necessary.
I love it when games do that, especially if it's got a story element to it that makes this little side off thing that is fun to explore. Well,
yeah, a few of them are actually where you'll see more direct ties to Blood Omen, the optional areas, which is cool for if you've played that one. But again, not necessary, Scott. Okay, you hear me?
It's fine.
Not necessary.
Unnecessary.
That is Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered.
All right, so I know I jumped the gun earlier, but now we're finally to the bread and butter of the episode. Scott and Zach, you guys have been playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. How is that going for you guys?
Okay, so I haven't played it as much as Zach. I've only put a couple hours in because it dropped on Sunday night.
Right. It dropped Sunday at 6 Central.
6 Central.
4 Pacific.
Okay, so you
Not that I was excited.
Yeah.
It's not that specific.
Well, it came out earlier for people that dropped the extra coin for it, but neither of us did that.
No,
so.
it came out on Thursday for everybody else, but we got punished for not being willing to pay extra.
Oh, there you go.
If you wanted to play it on Game Pass, you had to wait.
When else has a game released on a Sunday/Monday? That's not a normal release date.
No.
That's it's actually came out on Friday, but we're punishing the rest of it.
Well, actually, they made players play test the game because a patch came out for it on Sunday morning or Saturday night.
Well,
so.
yeah, I heard there was a bug in the collectibles achievement. Unacceptable.
Yeah.
Oof.
So if you paid early, you may have to replay some sections. But hey, I digress. Anyway, it's difficult to speak about the opening of the game without spoiling it. So I'm going to leave that to people's imagination. But the intro I did not know was happening. Unfortunately, it was ruined for me by Twitter, so I'm not going to ruin it for everybody else. But
in terms of
good man.
In terms of tutorials, they find a fun way to give you one.
Yes, yeah, man, that's all I'm going to say because it's interesting. But when you start the proper game, wow, this is not what I expected from an Indiana Jones game. And to be honest, I avoided the that 14-minute play session they did or whatever a few months ago. I wanted to kind of go into it fresh, and very little combat. There is combat, don't get me wrong, but it's fun that it's not like a shooter. You do get a revolver at one point, but you've got maybe 3 or 4 bullets. But most of the time you're attacking is picking up whatever is available to you and using it as a weapon, like a shovel or a wrench or a lamp. It's just you're being Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? It's just kind of awesome in that respect.
Yeah, it really sells the scrappy nature of the character, and it proves to me at least why they went with first person.
Yes, yeah, and I mean, it backed me up here, but doing the patrolling and doing the stealth sections of this, it reminds me of playing Wolfenstein. I know it's not the same game, but the look and feel of it feels like Wolfenstein, but instead of Nazis, it's fascists. Which, well, yeah, I know, I get it, but they don't use the word Nazi.
They will later. Rest assured, if you want to punch Nazis, this is still the game for you.
All right. But yeah, it just I'm playing a machine games game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does feel like a machine games game. It really reminded me of Chronicles of Riddick.
I've not played that, so I can't compare. Is that machine games?
No, it was Starbreeze.
Oh, okay.
I believe so.
But that game had a very stealth focused take and kind of a dedication to the first person perspective. Mm-hmm. It actually also cut out to third person when you climbed and stuff. So I guess it's actually pretty similar.
Mm-hmm. But the interesting thing to me is just how puzzly it is. I mean, the game starts with you solving a puzzle, trying to figure out because the story is somebody breaks into the museum and steals an artifact, and your first thing you have to do before you do any kind of real combat is determine which item has been stolen by putting all the ones back to where they belong. And you could do it just trial and error, because the game for a first puzzle says you put it in there, and then either Indy or Marcus goes, well, that's not right.
Right.
So you can't do that, but there are clues. If you know history at all, or your geography at all, you can kind of do that.
Or if you just pay attention to him and Marcus talking when you pick the item up, it gives you a little hint. I guess you do kind of need to know flags. Yeah. But anyway, but it speaks to the puzzles are nice, especially after the first one, because they really do largely just leave it up to you. Mm-hmm. This is not a God of War situation where they're giving you the answer before you have a chance. Yeah. The character, if you are with another character, they're just on standby while you figure it out. Mm-hmm. And they have a system for you to ask for a hint, but otherwise you get to just try it out.
Isn't the system like taking a picture or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is clever. One of my favorite things about this game is what they do with the map. I know we just did an entire episode on maps a while ago, but the thing they do with this, I feel like I've not seen in a game before, where the map doesn't go to a subscreen. Indy pulls up a map and puts it in front of him, and you see your actual, like, where you are on the map, and you can run or walk, and you're seeing where you're going. I just thought that was just kind of cool. It kind of gives that thing like, yeah, we're holding a map. I know where I am, and I just made it really easy. Although it feels weird not seeing the bottom half of the map.
Well, you have to look down.
Yeah.
And then your quest log is a journal that you're actually flipping through. You know, it gives everything a very analog feel, which is, you know, somewhat essential to selling that 1937 atmosphere.
That's a good point too. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How linear is this game?
It's not at all.
Okay.
So my assumption going into the game was that it would be largely be a linear game, sort of like Uncharted in first person, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the vibe I got, but it is closer to Dishonored. In terms of structure. Like, if you need to get into a Nazi compound, there's going to be 6 different ways for you to do it. You could climb up to the roof. You could try to you could shoot your way through the front door. You could, you know, circle around the back and maybe there's a break in the fence. You could distract the guard, you know, and sneak in on the side. You could find a disguise and just walk right in. There's
Hitman Jones.
It's very open to, you know, you using your imagination.
Which is interesting if you don't know that, like I didn't. And I just thought this is going to be a linear thing. And I'm like, all right, I got to figure out this maze. And then I just wind up on the other end of the map. And I'm like, am I going the right direction? I don't even know at this point.
Watching the trailers is kind of deceiving because I was expecting a more, like, maybe some puzzles, but more of a combat linear game formula.
That's what I got as well.
Yeah, I think Xbox marketing did a poor job with Indiana Jones. Because I think
if they...
My general take
more sneaking.
My general takeaway when I played it was just like, this is much more involved than I expected. There's much more going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it is very stealth focused if you want it to be. I guess you could just punch your way through these Nazis, but I find it far more satisfying to, you know, pick up a pitchfork and club a guy over the back of the head with it or something, you know. And
with a pitchfork.
Well, you know. There's probably not you're not stabbing them. You're always like, even if you have like a crowbar, you're like bending it over their head or something in more of a lighthearted way. But what's also fun about the items you're picking up is that they break so quickly.
Yeah.
So you're always scrambling for the next one if you want to keep using them. So it is very much to like the improvisation that you'd expect from Indiana Jones. Only you're doing it yourself.
And while a lot of people would be like, I'm going to be frustrated with like weapon, you know, wear or whatever, but there's always something. There's always something to be used as a weapon. Like, I found a revolver, and I was trying to go the stealthy approach, so I didn't want to fire it, right? So, but you can actually pistol whip people with it. And then I realized that also takes damage. So I'm like, am I going to ruin my gun? You know what I mean? So I'm like, stopped using it. Picked up like a wrench or something, which is stupid because now I got rid of I don't know. It was...
Well, you can repair the revolver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
you want to ruin the gun before I ever get to fire it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, there are repair kits everywhere, and those rebuild your disguise weapon essentially.
How are you finding Troy Baker's interpretation of Harrison Ford?
I mean, there are times where it is kind of creepy how close it is.
Right?
It's outrageous. The only time I can really tell it's Troy Baker is when he's grunting.
Yeah,
which I know is specific, but you know, you play enough games with Troy Baker.
I was gonna say, do you listen to him grunt a lot?
You play a lot. He shows up in games, man, and he sure grunts. And you can't. It's hard to do an impression of a grunt,
right?
So that's really the only time it feels like Troy Baker. I mean, there are some lines here or there. Maybe if you're fixating, you probably spot the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But like there are times like I don't know how you keep an impression going while you're yelling, but he does, and he yells, and it feels like Harrison Ford yelling. I
couldn't agree more. I'm just kind of
unbelievable.
I heard it in the trailers and all that kind of good stuff, but playing it in game and just even little quips like when he takes somebody out and says something, it's like that's freaking indie.
Right? Yeah, and it's not even just the performance; it's like the little mannerisms too, or the way he might like mumble into the end of a sentence like Harrison Ford would.
Yep.
You know, it's just so spot on. It's unbelievable. It's crazy. Yeah, blown away.
How far into it are you? Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm glad they didn't announce Troy Baker beforehand because I probably would have, my eyes would have rolled. But learning afterwards, cause that first trailer, I was like, how the hell is that Joel?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, Scott, what were you going to ask me?
I was asking how far you were because I'm like after the tutorial section, I'm still in that first mission. Like I got halfway through it, or what I assume is halfway through it.
Oh, are you climbing the Castello?
Yes, like I was near
Okay.
the top and I had a cutscene and then I had to go to bed. So
Man, so you're not even into what the game really is yet.
right,
So
still have a mystery about who that guy is, and which, by the way, it was Candyman, was it not?
yes, that was Tony Todd. R.I.P.
Yeah. Which is sad, but also kind of cool seeing him in there.
Yeah, at least Lisa's last role was Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he's not mad about that. but the actual game is structured into hub areas. So the first one is I don't know if this is a spoiler, but it is the Vatican City.
I don't think that's a spoiler. I think that's pretty well known.
Okay, and but within it, you're exploring to your heart's content. You can go into little maybe an army camp if you want, or you can poke your head into a building and see where it leads, and almost everywhere you go, like there are different side quest levels. There's like field work, which are like real side quests, and then there's like mysteries, and there's a couple different layers to them. But the mysteries are really cool because they're kind of just one room little puzzles you have to solve.
Oh, awesome!
And so many of them are different. Like the only thing that's repeated are cracking into safes, but every time I've had to crack into a safe, I've had to find the code in a different way.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
each puzzle feels unique. Each time you do go to like the main path, like tombs or whatever, it is not doing the Last of Us ladder thing.
Right.
Every puzzle feels unique, but the side quests, the field work are outrageously good. They so far, I mean, I did all of them in the first area, and they all tie into the main narrative in some way, and they kind of flesh it out in a way that like you didn't need to know this, but it sheds light on something so you can look at it a different way, if that makes sense.
Interesting. So it's well written too.
Yes, and each of those side quests they are indistinguishable from the main quest in terms of quality. Like they're fully, they have a bunch of cutscenes, they have a bunch of unique areas, unique puzzles. There's like this, the indie lady of the game has a side quest and it fleshes her out. But like I forgot I had set the side quests to the tracking on the quests, so I thought I was doing the main quest.
Oh, it was that good. I didn't realize you had made the mistake.
And it felt like it was a whole new area that I was like climbing this tower, and it was a whole, and you don't go there again in the main story. So it was just for the side quest. It was
Crazy.
it was awesome. It was incredible.
One thing I thought that was cool when the game starts is it actually gives you two different difficulty sliders, more or less. One for like how difficult the combat and stuff is, and then one how difficult the puzzles are. So you can like, I just thought that was interesting that you could choose one or the other. What did you do? Did you do hard on all of it?
Well, I did hard for the combat one, and then the puzzles only had the medium and the easy, so I went with the medium.
Yeah, that's what I did.
What about you?
I didn't do hard with the combat. I just did the middle one, the standard one.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, like, it doesn't really the combat so far isn't really difficult, especially if you're going stealth anyway. So
well, they're Nazis, right? How tough could they be?
Are you two playing different ways? Are you both stealth or?
I'm very stealth. I love to use the disguises. There was one I was very surprised by this. In that first area, there's one disguise that is totally optional, but it really opens up your options to walk around. I was surprised that they would. Yet. Well, there's a few, which it's very exciting. So yeah, I'm definitely stealth. I did do like one shootout just to like, how does it feel? It feels good. But the guns are so loud that it alerts everybody. So if you're gonna shoot a gun, you get ready for the ensuing firefight.
Yeah, I didn't do a firefight, but I tried to go stealthy, and then if I do have to go into combat, I try to keep it to one person because it's hairy with one person anyway. You have a left punch, right punch, and a block that you can then counter.
Right. And a parry. It's a solid little FPS fighting system.
Mm-hmm. But I can't imagine trying to do more than one person. Like that would just be nuts because there's not a quick turn. You know
right.
what I mean?
They do kind of hammer on you if you try to fight a group.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to go as stealthy as I can, but I mean that's what he did in the movies, right? He tried to sneak in all these different places, and I'm intrigued to see where the story goes. I don't really, I'm so fresh to that opening area. I'm just kind of following one lead, but it was kind of fun. Like in the beginning, like seeing Indy getting excited about traveling again. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Like him going around his office, like to pack and everything. Like this, I got this book, and this is what this means, and then he's off to across the pond. It's just fun.
Yeah. Well, I've been surprised. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because this is Machine Games, but the way they just tuck in little kind of heartfelt moments, little sincere character beats, like when Indy opens up that suitcase, like you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and you just kind of, but there are little things like that sprinkled throughout. But that's, Wolfenstein surprised me by being a World War II first person shooter that actually had a ton of heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it was nice to see here because you're kind of seeing a little bit of Indiana Jones in between the scenes in the movies, right? Because we're usually seeing him going from set piece to set piece, from investigation to adventure to boat chase,
Mm-hmm.
right? But here we're seeing a lot of Indy in the downtime,
which is awesome. We kind of get those
Yeah.
in between moments that there wasn't enough time to see in the films.
right? And it's great. I mean, I really feel like they've nailed the character. I'm loving this modern era where licensed games aren't like, how do we fit this license into this game we have? It's like, how do we build a game around this license?
Exactly.
It feels like that. And the first person, if anyone else is still like me, concerned about the first person perspective, like I was before it came out, like what this has allowed it to do is stand out. So, because otherwise it would probably just feel like a Tomb Raider or an Uncharted, but with Indiana Jones.
Right.
But the way they did it, it feels unique. It sticks with you. They can really sell the intelligence and scrappiness of Indiana Jones. So I have to applaud Machine Games for making what would probably be a risky move, I assume, in the boardroom of like, we're gonna make one of the most iconic silhouettes in history, and you're not gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they pulled it off, man.
But like you said, you do get to see third person in the climbing and stuff. It's like you never see him.
Right. Yeah. So when you have traversal and whip climbing, and it's pretty seamless. I really thought from the trailers it was gonna be annoying as hell.
Yeah. Good.
But it works very well.
Do you know? I mean, I know they've talked about this before, but have you gotten far enough in the story to know what the Great Circle is?
Yes, it was just explained, dude. And I just met the villain as well.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's creepy. SOB.
Yeah.
They do a very Wolfenstein job of making you hate this dude within minutes.
All right, I'm intrigued because they did do a good job of that. Wolfenstein.
I was not looking forward to this game at all, and I'm intrigued. So,
are you an
I'm intrigued as well.
Are you an indie fan, Jacob?
Not usually. I enjoyed the movies, but I wasn't going to play this game.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm glad you brought up Dishonored because that was the vibe I was getting while I was playing it too. I was like, it just felt very like an arcane game a little bit. So
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I would never have expected. I would never have expected like immersive sim qualities to Indiana Jones, but dude, I love it. I love it.
So again, that is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I got one more to talk about. Alyssa, you have been playing a game called Stars in the Trash, which, man, you put trash in the title. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. But you loved this game, and
I did.
Watch the trailer. This looks like a straight up Saturday morning cartoon I watched when I was a kid.
It does. The whole time you're playing, it feels like that, and I was just so in love with it.
So what's the story in this? You play a cat?
Yeah, you're a cat named Mocha, and you want to get outside. You're a house cat, and it takes you a couple times to get outside. You get caught by the dog in the family, which the dog that the family has, he has a little weird, the wheelchair dogs, like that, their back legs.
Yeah.
It's one of those dogs. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute. But anyway, you'll get caught by the dog or by one of the family members. You finally escape. And then you're out in the city, and the game is just you as the cat traversing the city, trying to get away from the dog catcher that's constantly hounding you. there are these like
Mm-hmm.
these. Yeah, I actually did not mean for that to be a pun.
We could
but
tell.
I just caught it myself.
He's meowing you.
Yeah, he is. And then there's like gangster rats that want to beat you up.
Word.
Gangster rats.
It's just a delight.
Okay. Now, there's a special reason that this game means something to you. Do you feel comfortable sharing that?
I do, and I did not know if this was actually going to be in the game, so I went into the game just wanting to play the game. But there's a section near the beginning where you're walking through the streets as the cat, and there's a wall, and it's a memorial wall with a mural. And on Twitter, the developers had said, send us pics of your pets that have crossed the Rainbow Bridge, and we'll select some random ones and put them in the game. So I sent them a picture of my cat, Sookie, who passed away over 2 years ago. And I wasn't sure if she would be on the wall or not, and she is.
Aw.
And it made me smile and tear up at the same time, and I was like, yeah, I yelled for my dad to come look, and showed him. I showed my mom when she came up a few days later, and took pictures of it too. But yeah, that was just a special little thing. So my cat is featured in the game. I did put a disclaimer in my review about that, but that did not affect the score of the game in any way. It was just a little thing for me personally that meant a lot, and I didn't know if she was actually going to be in there or not, and she was. So, you know, it's got a special place in my heart just for that little thing. Like, finally got to put my cat in a game, and you know, it's special. So
Very cool.
Does that make her a star in the trash?
well, I hope she's not in the trash, but she is a star.
So it sounds like you recommend this one?
Oh, for sure. And it is I would say it's a platformer mostly, and I'm notoriously bad at platformers, but when I say this is easy, you have to know that when I say it's easy, it's got to be extremely easy for fans of the genre.
Yeah, this is
Like,
an experience, not a twitchy game.
Yeah, you're going through it. It's very, very easy. For me, it was perfect difficulty-wise. There are a few sections that are kind of like beat-em-up sections with the rats. You get to like slap them around with your paws. But mostly you're just, you know, going through the city, just, you know, eating grass, scratching up cardboard, laying down on rugs and taking little cat naps, knocking over flower pots. You're just living the life of a cat that's, you know, having the freedom to be outside in the world instead of confined to the house.
This sounds like an Alyssa game on so many levels.
It really is.
Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed that one. It is you're playing on a PC, right? Are you playing on PC or on Steam Deck?
I played it on Steam Deck and it runs beautifully.
All right, but it is also available on Switch, developed by Valhalla Cats, published by Indie Arc, and was provided to us by Valhalla Cats, I believe. Did I get that right?
Yes,
but
they sent it directly to me.
I couldn't find a price.
It's $11.99.
Okay, that's not bad. Awesome. Again, that is Stars in the Trash. Before we move on to our From the Outside In topic, we got some other reviews I want to share with you. One of the things we'd like to do here at the Gaming Outsider is get some input from some of our community. We've got some community writers that reviewed some games for us, and we're going to play those for you right now. I'm here with Mark Szymanski and Rel. How you guys doing?
Heyo.
Hello.
I'm going to start with Mark because I am incredibly intrigued by this game that you played, because just about an hour or so ago, Mark texted me and said, hey, is it okay for me to score a game a perfect 10 out of 10, even though it's probably not a game that's going to be for everybody? Which got me super intrigued, because looking at the trailer for this game, it looks very, very familiar and simplistic, I guess is a way to say it, but I'm very intrigued by what this game is, and I can't really wrap my head around how it plays. The game is called Proverbs. You're playing it on PC. It's available on Mac as well. The developer is Mark French. It was published by Divide the Plunder and was provided to us by Game.Press. Now, the immediate thing that this game reminded me of, and I think Rel as well, because he watched the trailer, is Minesweeper. But they're talking, it's got Picross elements in it as well. So tell me how this game works, because I could not understand mechanically how to play this game from the trailer.
Okay, so a little bit of backstory. There's a painting from the 1500s called Netherlandish Proverbs.
Mm-hmm.
That's this entire thing is built. Painting is separated into essentially about 55,000 pixels.
55,000?
55,000.
So this game is one puzzle.
One puzzle. That is,
Okay.
but it is separated into about 250 regions.
All right, I'm listening.
Most of those regions correlate to one of the proverbs from the painting. So you're solving a mini puzzle is a portion of the painting, and 250 of those regions build up the entire painting.
That actually sounds kind of satisfying. That's how I used to play Assassin's Creed games. Like I used to clear out one section and that section was done, and then it felt really cool to kind of do all that. So.
And that is what hooked me.
Okay.
That right there, because I'm able to finish mini puzzles, make my progress. There's a big percentage bar at the top that tells me how far I am. I'm up to 79% right now. And it's so satisfying to finish those puzzles, to get the proverb that you're solving in most cases at the end of it, like beating your head against the wall, or two birds with one stone, although the proverb from the 1500s was said differently. I can't remember what it is. But and you can look it up on the internet because it's a real painting.
Nice.
So, and each of these proverbs, they give you the original proverb translated to English, of course, and then what the current meaning is of it. So that it's just kind of neat that you're getting a bit of history, you're getting the proverbs, the painting itself is very nice, and then the satisfaction of finishing each of these puzzles and the drive to keep on going and hit that 100%. I'm going to get there.
Okay. So,
but yeah, I'm sorry. Going back though, the Minesweeper thing is accurate.
Yeah.
So each number is for a 9-block area, a 3x3 block. Okay. So if you have a 9, all 9 of those blocks are colored in, and if it's a 0, none of them are. So if it's a 1, one of the blocks of those 9 are colored in. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of solving certain areas and then seeing if the numbers around that area can help you solve the next batch of grid areas.
Right.
So that's where you get Minecross. You get Picross because it creates a picture when you're done.
Okay, so you really are just doing Minesweeper, but then it's revealing it's revealing the pictures, which is where the Picross comes in.
Correct. Minesweeper with art.
Minesweeper with art. Okay. So what is? I mean, again, bold statement asking if you can give this a perfect score. Why are you loving this so much?
It's hooked me. I don't know what to say. I don't understand it myself. It's just simply making a big giant picture. It's sunk its hooks into me. I want to keep playing. And I tell you something, if you did another painting, I would buy that one and start fresh again with a new painting.
Okay.
It's just so satisfying and calm and challenging at the same time. It makes me feel smarter too. So
now this is again on PC and Mac only. Could you see this being or translating to a phone?
No.
I'm
sure you could, but that screen would really drive me insane. Yeah. Maybe a tablet.
Okay. So glowing recommendations for Proverbs on PC, Mark.
Without a doubt, yes. I don't know if this will appeal to everybody, but it sure did to me.
I totally get the whole satisfaction of chipping away at a puzzle and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I get that. It's just and in the trailer, it's just kind of crazy how massive the picture is, because I'm used to Minesweeper being at most, I don't know, like a 50 by 50 grid. I think it was the biggest you could do. It's been a long time since I played Minesweeper, but this is like you have to physically scroll all the way across it. You know what I mean?
And you can zoom in and out, so you can get a view of the entire portrait painting, or you can zoom into the region that you're working on, and depending on your personal preference or the size of your screen, of course. Because I played it on my laptop, it's a little more challenging than on, say, my 24-inch monitor that I have here in front of me.
Okay.
So there's preferences, there's ways to play it, but overall, it's so satisfying.
Nice, and only $8.99 US. So
heck yeah.
That seems awesome. Well, shifting gears, let's talk to Rel about the game that he's been playing. I know it's early access, but the game is called Overthrown. He's playing it on PC, but it's also coming to Xbox. I think you can play the early access or preview version on Xbox right now, and it's coming to Game Pass. This one's developed by Brimstone Games and published by Maximum Entertainment, and was provided to us by OneUpper.net. Now, Rel, previously played I don't even know what you call this genre of games, but like, farming and collecting and simulation kind of thing. And I was getting vibes from that from this trailer, but you seem to be saying that's not the case.
No. This is more of a city builder with Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Yeah, they got some Dragon Ball in my city builder, or they got some city builder in my Dragon Ball, and together it's kind of weird.
In a good way?
Could be. So the problem is right now, and I just want to preface this, there's not a lot there right now.
Right.
Like, I really hope that the devs are like hard at work at adding in features and tweaking things and making adjustments, all the things that you should be doing in early access. But to back up a bit, if you've never seen Overthrown, I mean, it was featured on Iron Pineapple's channel. So if you're not one of his like 1.6 million or whatever subscribers, you may not have known about this. It's basically a city builder where it's in a third-person action cam.
Mm-hmm.
You play as like a princess or something who, gets a magical crown and like right away, and you immediately get superpowers. So you can run super fast. You can punch down trees, like your average Minecrafter. You can run so fast you can run on water. That's how fast you can run.
Nice.
You can wall jump up anything. You can lift anything in the game and throw it. Like I believe that's where the name of the game comes from, is you can lift buildings, trees, anything and throw it. It is a lot of fun to run around in the world and do melee combos, whether with your fists or sword or great sword, which is currently all the weapons that they have, which kind of sucks because it's a lot of fun. But the actual city building portion of the game is very bare bones, and it's very hard to figure out what you should be doing. They do like an okay job of telling you, all right, start with the city hall. Okay, now you need to make houses for people. Now you need to make outhouses because they need to poop. Now you need to make, granaries so that they can store food. But they don't really tell you how these things, or they don't do a great job in telling you how these things interact, why you're building these things, how much you need of a particular thing, or how much is too much, I guess. What's the magic number of granaries that can help you? What's the magic number of farm tiles that you need to be producing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so in that sense, it's not a great city builder yet. It certainly could be. There's a lot of work that they can do on the UI and providing information for the player to tell them, this is what you should be doing. This is what you're lacking. Like, one good example of it is they have various warnings, like, citizen is unemployed, right? So then you build something like a granary or a mead hall or a guard tower or whatever to get them employed. But then, they have other notices that are like high stress. What do you do about that?
Build them a man cave with a bunch of video games. I don't know.
I mean, that'd be great. They do have they do have bars and whatnot that you can build.
Oh, there you go.
And the general threat throughout the demo is you have bandits that have camps out in the wilderness, and you need to be able to take them down, because otherwise, once winter hits, they're going to attack your city, and you definitely do not have time to prepare in the state of the game that you start in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you start in summer, you're supposed to prepare for winter by storing up enough food, and once winter hits, you're attacked by bandits, but you're not going to have enough time to get walls put up around your place. You're not going to have enough time to get enough musketeers or whatever, which is the final tier of upgrades that you can get in the time of the demo. And also that's until 2025, that's all that you can unlock. So it's hard to say how this is going to turn out. If this were an action adventure game where you were like getting quests from an already built town, or like not even an already built one, where you were like getting quests and these quests would enable the townspeople to build more, like, you know, you complete this quest and they build a tavern for you, or you take down this bandit camp and they start putting up walls so that it's easier to defend against the next raid. You know, with this kind of movement scheme and the combat, that'd be great. The movement and combat are fantastic. They feel great. Moving around the world has some quirks. Like if you do the super dash, it feels really good, but also you can trip on a small ledge. So that's less good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right now it's a proper city builder combined with Dragon Ball Z-esque shenanigans, and it doesn't feel like they go together. It feels like they're trying to do two completely separate avenues of gameplay,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not ever going to meet. It's like they, you know, it's like that where it's like one straight line and then one line that's just 1 degree off, and they just keep going, but they're never, ever going to intersect ever again.
Right.
So I'm interested in seeing where it ends up. Like, undoubtedly, this game is at least a year, maybe 2 years from being finished. So
Very early then.
yeah, I like they have what is essentially an alpha build right
Mhm.
now. So if you really want to support the developers, it is on sale on Steam right now for $18. You know, which for that price, you're definitely not going to get your money's worth yet. But again, if they actually, you know, pull together those two lines going off into space and somehow turn this into a cohesive game, it may in fact be pretty dang good, you know?
All right. Sounds
Yeah.
good, man. I'm
Mhm.
intrigued by the Dragon Ball ness of it because I mean, admittedly, I've not watched Dragon Ball, but I know enough of it to like know that it has nothing to do with city building.
Yeah. I mean, let me put it this way. You can run at super speed, you can dodge around attacks, you can when you do a dash attack with a great sword, you will do like this slow spin and then shing, do a blade beam attack.
Mm,
You know, it's very anime, it feels really good to do. But then you get into the city building portion and it's like, what am I doing?
That's interesting because there's games that do opposite game types in the same game, like Moonlighter is an example. You know, where you're doing a dungeon run thing and then you come back and you man a shop.
Yeah, but I think in Moonlighter, one feeds the other.
Mm-hmm.
You go into the dungeon to get yourself stocked up, and then you take those items that you've acquired and you then sell them.
Right.
Whereas in this game, you know, think of it as Minecraft, but you can run around like at super speed and punch down trees and beat up bandits, but that doesn't really feed into the city building aspect, other than if you happen to kill some bandits, it means they won't attack you later. And that's really it. So if they can
Gotcha.
find some way to tie those two together, then yeah, they're going to have a cohesive game, and it's probably going to be a lot of fun.
All right. So it sounds like you're intrigued, but it's just very, very early to really give a full impression of it because it's clearly not done yet.
Yeah, no, this is not even half baked. You know, they've just put it into the oven. This is the pinnacle of early access.
Okay. Again, that is Overthrown. It sounds interesting nonetheless. Hopefully they can connect those dots like you said. So, well, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by. As always, it is a pleasure to chat with both of you. Hope you have a great remainder to your week.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
All right. Catch you guys later.
Later.
Well, hello there, Thomas. Long time no see. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. I am living the dream. It's my weekend time. It's Christmas party season. Things are starting to wind down for the end of the year. Looking forward to it. But you're not here to wax philosophical. You're here to talk to us about a game that you're reviewing for us. A while back, you reviewed a game for us, and if I'm not mistaken, this is the sequel. Is that correct?
Yes. I think it was 2018 that I played NAIRI, Tower of Shirin.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, the sequel, NAIRI Rising Tide, has been released, and I can finally play it. And I finished it a couple of days ago.
Nice. So you're playing it on PC, which I know is pretty normal for you, but it is also available on Switch. It is developed by Home Bear Studio, published by Houndpick Games, and they're actually the ones that provided us with a copy of this. So you can get it for $14.99 US. I'm not sure how that translates to euros, but maybe you can enlighten me.
It's about the same,
About the
slightly
same?
less.
Slightly less. All right. So you're going to have to refresh my memory because I vaguely remember the original. I mean, it's been 6 years since you reviewed the other one, if it was 2018. So what was that game about, and how does it tie in with the sequel? Is it the same kind of gameplay? Is it different? What's going on?
Yeah, well, I had the same problem because it's been so many years, and I do really remember the game, as in, like, it's a pretty memorable game, mainly because of the fact that it looks kind of cutesy, but it's actually in the story not that cutesy.
Yeah.
So it's quite an quite an adult story, and by adult I don't mean sex or anything. I mean it's like it's not a kid's story. It's a story for grown-ups.
That's interesting because the trailer really does make it look like it's a kid's game, and the music playing in the background of the trailer is just very lighthearted and happy. And what is the story going on here?
Well, this takes place in this mystical place, and NAIRI is the main character, whose parents have been arrested, and she this city is basically 3 districts: the poor district, the middle district, and the rich district. And there's a lot going on, and basically she ends up in the first game in the poor district, and she has to find her way out, and also discover what is going on with everything, with the Tower of Shirin. Shirin is the name of the city. The tower was built by one of the emperors. Then it got destroyed. Then it got rebuilt. And NAIRI has this ability to. Well, she gets these visions, and she kind of she meets all these characters. Her best friend Rex was like this. This is a world where you have humans and you have anthropomorph. So
Anthropomorphic?
yeah, animals.
Okay.
And they are just treated like as if they are like humans. I mean, they know they are bears and rats and stuff like that, but they are just they live there as well.
Okay.
And which is quite funny, and they look very cute. So her best friend is Rex, who is a mouse, I think. Who is a bit of a scholar. He's also he belongs in the poor district, and at the end of the game, they manage to escape from the poor district to the middle district. And so the second game, Rising Tide, starts with her. Well, actually, it starts with one of a different character who also played a role in the first game, who made some mistakes, who did some bad things, and is trying to atone for them. And he is also in the middle district trying to find NAIRI in a way to so he can atone to her as well. And NAIRI is just trying to find a way to get to the rich district so she can help her parents, because her parents have been put in prison by the head of the Soluna Council. Yeah, you have the Soluna Council and you have the Luna Council. They are a bit opposite. They are supposed to inform or to advise the emperor on what to do on certain things, and they were supposed to be in balance, but politics and everything gets in the way, and there was this like the one of the councils is made a power grab, and in that because of that, NAIRI's parents are imprisoned because her father was the head of the Luna Council, and the Soluna Council made. Yeah, it's it all makes sense if you play it.
Yeah.
It's a bit hard to explain when you try to. Yeah, it's all explained very well in the game.
hmm
And as you can hear, it's not a kids game.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that. Like I said, all the aesthetics of the trailer makes it seem like it's very childish. I wanna ask you what the gameplay entails because most of the trailer was just dialogue that you're reading text, and there were some puzzles like at the very end of it, but they seemed kind of light. They didn't seem like super like what I know you're a big fan of point and click adventures, and some of those can get really hairy. How does the gameplay work in this one?
Well, this is all a point and click adventure game.
Mhm.
Um, it is heavy on the dialogue, uh, and it is the puzzles are light until you enter a dungeon. There are two, well, quote unquote, dungeons in the game.
Mhm.
Um, you do not have to play them. You can skip them actually, which is if because those two are filled with puzzles. There's
Mhm.
just basically one giant puzzle. Uh, so and it's actually pretty intense and pretty There were some areas that I found quite difficult, so I had to consult a walkthrough.
Mhm.
Which was the outside of those two dungeons, I didn't need a walk.
'Kay.
So it was just a fun game with lots of dialogue, lots of encounters, some very zany characters. There's some returning characters from the first game, um, and there's quite a lot of humor in there. It's a bit silly, but also quite serious. Yeah, it goes pretty hard sometimes, um, and eventually you manage to get through everything, and yeah, um, I can't really tell how it ends, of course, but this is sort of like I'm expecting this to be a trilogy, and
Mhm.
this is the Empire Strikes Back of the trilogy.
Ah, okay, so there's more to come.
I expect more to come, and I really hope they get to make it, and that this game will do well enough so they can make a third.
So it sounds like you
Uh,
really need to have played the first one to play this one.
I would definitely recommend playing the first one, not just because the first one is a very good game on its own, but also because this is a direct sequel. It's like a new chapter of the same story.
Mhm.
So there's some collecting in there. There are you can a total of 300 coins can be collected. I managed to find them all. There are 12 pieces of artwork that you can look for in the different areas. I also managed to find those, and with those coins, you can also buy figurines in the game. They are pretty nice, and they give a bit of background story to the characters they portray. I also managed to get all those figurines, so I got all the collectibles, and yeah, I really like the story. The story is there is a lot of you have on one side you have all the political intrigue, and on the other side there's all the mystical stuff happening, and yeah, it's pretty good. I normally I would not be interested in a game that looks like this because I'm not that big a fan of the cutesy thing. That's also why I almost never play JRPGs
Mhm.
because it doesn't appeal to me. But this game is just bloody good. This franchise is really good. Music is good. I highly enjoyed this game, and yeah, it's easy to play. It really is point and click, and if you can do something with an item, you automatically do it. Like you don't have to say pick it up, or you just if it's something you can pick up, you pick it up. If it's something you can manipulate, you manipulate it. If
Mhm.
it's something you can look at or read, then you can read it.
All
They
right.
did expand on the first game in that you now have a tool belt, and with the tool belt um, you can build things. Like you have the option sometimes just to combine things in your inventory, like in the regular point and click games. But in this case, you also have the opportunity to actually build something or break something apart, depending on what you want to do. Where you can, for instance, if you have the right tools and all the components, like you find several pieces of a statue, and then if you have all the pieces and you have the glue, then you put all the pieces in the right position. You select the glue. You use the tool belt, and you have recreated the statue, like stuff like that. So
Gotcha.
it's part of the whole gameplay. It's really well done. There are maps now. You can even find a compass in the game that shows you if you've missed certain collectibles or certain things, like if there's still a question mark on a specific location, then you know that there is still something you can do there. At one point, you need to recruit people because the rising tide. I can tell this because you learn this in the game pretty soon. It's not really a spoiler. The Rising Tide is a organization of rebels that are against the way the city is run.
Mm-hmm.
And you join that organization, and you are at one point tasked of getting new members in. So that's also sort of a collectible, and you get achievements for all those. I've managed to get all the achievements. That's also really why I didn't want to skip the dungeons. I just want to get through, because those two, yeah, I call them dungeons, but they're actually one is a dungeon, the other is a tower. And they give you a lot of very interesting backstory on the mythology of the whole game. Yeah, this is just, it's really cool. It's really fun, and it goes way deeper than you expect.
Very cool. So don't be put off by the cutesy look of it. There's a lot of dark stuff going on here and interesting narrative, it sounds like.
People die.
All right. That is NAIRI. Am I saying that right? NAIRI. Rising Tide. Called NAIRI. Yeah, grab it on PC or Switch for $14.99. Thomas, thanks for checking that out, man. I do appreciate it.
No, thank you for getting into it, because it was one of those. I really wanted to play this one because I really enjoyed the first one, and this this really builds on the first one. Now that I'm very curious what the third game is going to be, and I hope it's not going to take 6 years to get it finished.
All right, sounds good, man. I appreciate it. We will catch you next time, and thanks for stopping by.
No problem. See you later, man.
Thanks to those guys. That was awesome. Want to move on and remind everybody before we, last minute before we get to the topic, is remind you guys about reviewing us. If you get a chance and you're on Apple Podcasts, drop us a review. We will read that review on the episode if you do it. If you haven't already, it takes you about 45 seconds, and it really helps us get the word out there. Also, our website, thegamingoutsider.com, you can find all of our written content there. And you'll find my review of Kong Survivor Instinct, also my review of Shadows of the Damned, Hella Remastered, and Mark's review of Locomotive. I believe there's some other ones up there too. Did I miss some? Neon Blood, I think is...
Neon Blood is on there. Mm-hmm. Legacy of Kain, Reaver 1+2 Remastered is on there. Mm-hmm. My Stars in the Trash review is on there.
Okay, there you go. I missed them. I did not update that part. I'm totally Ron Burgundying that right now. So we're going to go ahead now and jump into our From the Outside In topic. Christmas and the rest of the holidays are fast approaching, so we wanted to hear what was on everyone's wish list this year. I know it's about the spirit of the holidays and not the consumer aspects associated with the holidays, blah, blah, blah. I still wanted to have some fun with it. So what are you hoping Santa brings you this year, Alyssa?
Well, I actually asked for physical games this year for the first time in several years because I was game sharing, but now that's somewhat shifted.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually put some physical games on my wish list this year, and by my wish list I mean Amazon wish list, because my parents are divorced and my mom's asking me what I want, my dad's asking me what I want, my sister asked me what I want, so I'm like giving everyone the link. And as for 5 games specifically, most on PlayStation, but one Nintendo Switch game. As for Metaphor Refantasio, because that looks great, I just didn't have the chance to get it, but I know it's like this huge RPG. I asked for Dragon Age the Veilguard because I am very curious about that. I love the previous Dragon Age game, so I wanted to get my own take on it. Star Wars Outlaws, because I've heard it's good now that it's been patched.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back into that too, actually.
As for Stellar Blade, because I want to support Korean-made games, and it looks really cool to me. I'll probably have to play that on the easier difficulty.
And you want to get that NieR content now that it's out,
yes.
I understand.
Yeah, the NieR content, yeah. And another Code Recollection on Switch, because those are the Trace Memory games, right?
They are, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to play those for so long, so those were my 5 games that I had on the list, along with all, the books and manga and stuff, but my parents are so probably happy to have something besides books and manga to buy me, because I have way too many, so.
Is there such a thing, Alyssa, as too many?
I don't think so, but they do.
All right, Jacob, what about you, man?
I don't know. There's not really anything that's on my list. I don't usually ask for anything for the holidays. My wife does not care. She goes out of her ways and finds me everything that I may or may not like and gets it for me. So I'm usually showered with gifts anyway, but there's not really anything game related that I have been looking forward to or want right now. I get everything that I want throughout the year anyway, so I guess I'm not asking for anything.
How about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle?
I'll ask for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle just to make you happy.
Well, it's on Game Pass. You should just ask for a 1-month subscription to Game Pass.
There you go. You can blast you the game in a month.
I'll ask for an Xbox, then I'll ask for one.
You can play it on PC.
Month of Game Pass, and no, there's no way Xbox is touching my PC. Get out of here.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
Yeah, I have firewalls and antiviruses and stuff for that kind of stuff.
No, I mean you can buy the game on PC.
I'm trying to keep Xbox off of my computer.
If you buy it on,
I don't want my computer salted with that name.
I'm sorry I suggested whatever the hell this led to.
I don't understand what's going on.
But it is on Steam, I guess, if you're really that bothered.
I can do it on Steam. I mean, I do have an Xbox account. I do have the Xbox dashboard on my computer. It's not like I don't have any of this stuff. I am a gamer after all, but I'll have to look into a Game Pass.
And $20 to play through a game, and
yeah, it was nice to dust the Xbox off.
Yeah, it'll be nice to dust off the PS5 and I play Silent Hill. You're coming up soon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still haven't even seen the updates, like the PlayStation 1 startup screen and all that.
You better get there before they go away.
How long are they lasting?
Right? I don't know.
That's so stupid that they're going away. By the way,
I know.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. Not as dumb as putting out a physical or putting out a digital game and recalling it 3 months later, like Nintendo, but still pretty dumb.
I mean,
did you guys see that there was like one of the Humble Bundle things actually put up Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for free for a few hours before they realized their mistake?
Oh,
and it promptly got refunded. They did not let them keep those games.
They did not honor the purchase, the
Correct.
free purchase.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
they don't need to.
Anyway,
that's almost rude. That's your mistake. That's not mine.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, clearly that was a mistake. I mean, I've taken advantage of stuff like that in the past, so I can't judge. But anyway, Zach, what about you, man?
I thought the spirit of the question was me, shooting for the stars and hoping Santa was listening.
Sure.
But
yeah, go ahead.
I will say I did ask for Metaphor, Alyssa, for my mom, so I look forward to having to buy that myself in a few months. I did finally. I asked for A Plague Tale Requiem because it's got to be pretty cheap by now. And
isn't that on Game Pass?
It is on Game Pass.
I'm sure it is, but I obviously am not getting around to it. So if I have it on a disc in front of me, yes,
make you do it.
I think it will. It's the same, the same reason I asked for Heaven's Vault, because Thomas reviewed that for us, and that was
a while ago.
It was years ago, but I've been thinking about it ever since because he gave it a 10. So I asked for that too. So I was asking for stuff to, berate myself and reminding to play these things. But in terms of the question, dear Santa, there's this Red Dead collector's box. It's very limited. Came out years ago. That Rockstar put out, full of little merch items. But now it goes for hundreds of dollars, even secondhand. It's ridiculous for nonsense items. What if Santa's listening? I would ask for that.
There you go.
And I really want a play date. Are you familiar with this?
Yes.
The hand
handheld
crank?
game?
Mhm.
Yes, the 2-button handheld gaming console with the crank.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think this thing looks so fun, and the way that when you buy one, you get it's 24 games, and they unlock two at a time each week.
Yeah,
For
they
like
just
3
keep
months.
coming out with new games, like little
Well,
bite-sized games.
But I'm saying that comes with your purchase, and it's kind of like you get a little weekly gift of 2 games.
Yeah,
And they just announced a second season of that they're doing another round of those that you can buy into, and that's super fun. I think it's fun, the idea of you don't know what you're getting, but yes, these little micro games. That's super super clever. I just think that device looks amazing. So I would love Dear Santa. I would love a play date.
very
yeah.
cool.
Those are the things I would think of.
I gotta actually, believe it or not, most of the stuff on my list. And the only reason I have an actual list is because my dad has no clue what to get me for Christmas, and so he asked me to make him a list. He just so I just put a bunch of stuff on Amazon and send him a link.
Oh,
Yeah.
I really thought you meant a handwritten list he was demanding out of you.
I mean, he probably would like that better, although he wouldn't know how to find the things.
Yeah.
If I told him, a game, he wouldn't know where to look. You know what I mean? He would probably go to the fabric section of your local department store.
Yeah.
The people at Michael's didn't know what a metaphor refantasio was.
Yeah. So I only really had one. I mean, outside of I can always, use Xbox gift cards or Switch gift cards or things like that.
Lame.
Huh?
Lame. Gift cards are lame.
Yeah, but it's always nice to have some stacked up just in case that thing comes up. But I did put one physical game on my list. And that was actually, you inspired this a little bit, Zach, because I saw you recently picked it up. I've always wanted to play through the Final Fantasy games, and I know I could probably emulate it or whatever, but those pixel remasters just sound really cool. And I know I could go play Brandon's version of the original. That probably might be the way to go do that.
So when you get the pixel remaster, just jump into 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I put that on my wish list and told my wife about it because it was on sale on Black Friday.
Uh-huh.
And a mysterious package showed up that was, Switch box shaped, and there was a charge on the Best Buy credit card that was about that amount. So,
that's interesting. Yeah, a similar thing happened when I asked for Heaven's Vault.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There you go. So that's really the only video game that's on there because, guys, I have so much to play, because I am not wanting for games.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
I like it. You have so much to play, so you got a collection of 6 games.
Right. I mean, but that's that's not, in the past when I bought physical games, I would get a physical game so that I could play it, beat it, and then turn around and flip it. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
This is one that's not what's gonna happen here. But I had some things that were not game related on my wish list.
Oh, yeah.
Ever since I went to Australia, I have wanted an espresso maker so badly.
Oh, yeah.
I miss coffee like that because, I'm drinking coffee in the morning from a Mr. Coffee,
right.
dripper kind of thing, and even that is it only brews half a cup of coffee now. I don't know if I got to run vinegar through it or whatever. But I just miss those little shots of coffee, man. And what was it? What is it called? A Marcalo or something? Or what do you call it? Half espresso, half steamed milk.
Oh, a cortado?
Cortado, yes. I just love that, having a little bit of coffee.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just awesome.
I often get them as well.
What else? I put one of those portable battery chargers. I carried around the little brick that I could plug my phone and stuff into. But they make a new one that actually has a thing. I have an Apple Watch, and it has the thing on the side of it that magnetically holds your watch, so you can charge your watch on the go as well too. Because it sucks if I travel. The only thing I have to charge it in Apple Watch is this monstrosity thing that's on my nightstand that holds my phone and my AirPods and my watch all in one.
You're all in on the ecosystem.
Yes, I'm an Apple person pretty much. So that, and I like to make beverages at my bar when I have people over, and my the little mixer, the cocktail mixer thing, the shaker.
Yeah.
Mine is needs to be replaced. I put one of those on my list. So those are the big that I put on there. Oh, and
he's gonna get 5 of them now.
new pair of headphones for podcasting because I don't know if I showed you guys last time. These things are falling apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should. I know I saw it.
Every time I pick up my headphones off of I got a little rack right here, and it's like pieces of the ear foam stuff just like crumbles to my podcast table. Oh, I do know my wife is buying me a new podcast desk. So
Are you supposed to know that?
Oh.
yeah, she actually asked me, like she gave me a bunch of them and asked me which one I wanted. So I'm gonna take down you guys. This is great for radio, but you guys remember my setup? I've got like these basically what do you call them? Cubicle walls that I've been recording in for forever. I don't think they're necessary anymore with the newer mics. So I'm getting rid of those and putting in a nice desk with a place to put a keyboard, and it's gonna be awesome. So
Yeah.
so that's it.
That's cool.
I don't know if she'll let me get the coffee maker. She says we don't have room on the counter.
Is that true, or do you disagree?
No, it's absolutely true.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no, of course. I
What is the
hear
living
you.
room?
Wink, wink.
Yeah. Let's see what the listeners had, because I'm excited to hear what everybody wants. And somebody has an answer that I was going to steal, so I decided to let them have it. But actually, you know what? I forgot to add it. I missed somebody's comment. I think it was Aaron Peterson that said, "Can we ask for time?" Because that is what I would love. I would just love to have the time to sit down and play these games. I don't have time. It is just so crazy busy. Always doing something, and all I want to do is sit down and play games. So,
Isn't that Mark Szymanski down there?
is that did I get it? Okay, so I'll go ahead and read Mark's. Over on Discord, he said, "I'm getting a new tool chest, re-upped with my annual iRacing subscription. I would love Santa to bring me an iRacing rig, but that's gonna have to wait a while. A Steam Deck 2. I would also love the gift of time. My New Year's resolutions will include a reset of how I use my non-work hours." Well, hope that doesn't mean he stops reviewing games, because he's at the top of the leaderboard right now.
Well,
He beat me.
Retire while he's sitting on top, bro.
Yeah, right. Man, Mark, you're gonna have to come to R2V2. Aaron brings his racing rig, and that was pretty interesting to see. VR
Brought.
iRig. What did I say? Is bringing?
Oh, he
brought?
said you said he's gonna bring.
Oh, yeah, he may not.
He said he wasn't gonna do it.
He said it was a pain in the butt last year, so yeah, I guess maybe that may not be happening. But, Jacob, why don't you read the next one over on Facebook?
Joseph Choi, all I want for Christmas is for my wife, my kids, and my mom to have a good day, and hopefully to have time off enough to take them to Yosemite soon.
Hey.
Well, that and a new SSD.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
We all need a new SSD. With the size of games that are coming out anymore nowadays, a terabyte's just not cutting it anymore.
SSD,
That's like
solid state drive?
solid state
Right?
drive.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, you need like 4 of those things.
Not on console. I just put in the disc and it works, man.
That still takes some space,
I'm sure.
but
Yeah.
not as
Well,
much.
yeah.
Not as much space. No, I will do that. But as a PC gamer, Baldur's Gate is 130 gigs. And,
Dude, as an
that's
Xbox Series S gamer, Indiana Jones is like 150 gigs. Like, that's just most of the hard drive.
Yeah.
For the Xbox Series S. I
Yeah.
have like that
Oh,
and
yeah.
like a couple 360 games installed now. It's ridiculous. that thing is useless for storage.
Yeah. Yep.
I've avoided going external for my Xbox or PlayStation. I just kind of organize it, but I have a terabyte. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
what do you have, like 256? Or what do you have on the Series S? I don't remember.
Probably 500.
Is it
Yeah,
500?
I think it's 500, and
I
then, but
think
then
it's-
you know
yeah.
someone's taking up the OS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels like a lot less than 500.
I believe.
I have the terabyte PS5, and then I have a terabyte external, and both of them are just full. And so I'm swapping games in and out still, because there's games on there that I want. I want access to them at all times, and I'm not going to get rid of them.
Well, then some games, right, to patch or update, they like need you to have the room of
Oh,
like
yeah.
the whole size of the game on there. I'm like, what
Yep.
the hell? I thought I installed you so this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, right.
Well, they
Yeah.
changed that because they found that their updates, when they were trying to just add the data, would ruin some of the other data that was on there. So they wipe it all and then upload the entire thing again. And so, yeah, now you need to have like this whole thing, like they copy it and then they delete it. And it's a pain. It's a pain. But yeah, my Remnant 2 keeps yelling at me on the computer that it's not going to update unless it gets 80 gigs
What?
to, I don't, yeah. No, I'm not clearing up 80 gigs so you can update.
I would be uninstalling that
whatever.
game and not playing it anymore.
Yeah, dude, that's insane. I looked it up. The Series S has an advertised 500 gigabyte, but it has 360 usable storage.
Gotcha.
Ooh,
So half
which
of
is-
it is
that
Indiana Jones.
hurts.
That's
Just
crazy.
under
man.
half of it.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's so stupid.
All right, Alyssa, you want to read the next one?
Yep. Andrew Jeck writes, "Peace on Earth, none for CEOs, and I'll be keeping an eye out for a copy of Twilight Princess for the Wii U for myself."
Interesting. Wii U.
It's always nice to keep an eye out for yourself on Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are my presents.
Yeah.
I'm-
Andrew, I hope you find that Twilight Princess on Wii U, and I hope you wrap it for yourself.
It's always great when you unwrap your own gift that you wrap.
Throw it in the tree.
All right, Zach.
Oh yeah, Sean Coates. You know, I did remember my wife has a standing list of 4K Blu-rays I want. They're all Clint Eastwood and Western movies, though.
Oh, okay.
But I'm sure I'll get some of those.
Yeah.
Which is always exciting. But Sean Coates writes in, "I'm asking for a gym membership this year. With all the things happening in the world that seem too abstract and out of my control for now, at least I can do to make my immediate world better. But this is a gaming podcast, I also put Astrobot on the list." I'm sorry for the hesitation, Sean. I just read the "for now" right after the no peace for CEOs comment, and I'm just like, the hell's going on in our community? But Sean, I hope you get in shape if that's what you want.
I need to get back exercising this year too. I am
just,
really bad. If I can convince
model-
Jacob to play racquetball with me, maybe that'll happen.
I was just talking with my wife about that because the owners of her company are really big into pickleball.
Yeah, everybody is right now. It's crazy.
They're
It's insane.
the Christmas dinner, whatever celebration of the year is at not Sports Core, but there's a little gym place over here by my house that we're all going to go to, and they allow to play racquetball and pickleball and all that kind of stuff. So they're going there to play that, and then we're getting beer and stuff delivered and whatnot. So it's more for them than it is for the actual working people there. But who cares? But
Well, let me know how it goes. I've never played pickleball.
I'm
Pickleball
not
is
playing
for
pickleball.
40-year-olds what Pokemon was for 10-year-olds in the 90s.
I'm not 40 yet, so that's fine.
It's just, dude, I
And
feel like
racquetball
Scott.
is for guys in their 50s and 60s, so I'm getting
dude,
there.
it's the pickleball sensation is unbelievable.
It's what's funny is my wife took pickleball in college like over 20 years ago,
Yeah.
and I had never heard of it. What the hell is pickleball? And she needed one credit or whatever, and she took a PE credit for pickleball, and like I thought it was a joke, and then all of a sudden in the past 5 years it's just blown up. Like it's just become this
Right.
sensation. It's like old fashions. Like we're a big thing a long time ago, and all of a sudden people really like them
Yeah,
again.
they're very hip, yeah.
Yeah.
My last boss described to me pickleball as tennis, but you can drink while you're doing it.
Okay.
So I assume that's why it's popular.
It's like a wiffle ball. Like it's not
Yeah.
like
I think it's just you use a racket to hit something, but it's so simpler compared to other sports that you could have a beer in the other hand, right? That's how I interpreted the joke.
I don't know, man. CJ Moore from our community and one of my Friday night buddies plays it like he's like actually teaching people how to play it, and they're pretty competitive. Like you could do that.
Yeah.
I would
I'm
not
sure
want
I
to
am-
play a game like that with someone while they were holding a beer in their hand.
I'm sure I'm just ignorant of that's just how I took the joke.
Okay.
I've never played pickleball. I don't know the world of pickleball. Sean, while you're working out, just keep BJ Blazkowicz in mind.
See, there's you want to talk about like productive games or whatever. Tech Ball is a game that combines soccer and ping pong together, and they
What?
play on a curved table. It's crazy. So if you just go online, look up Tech, it's TEQBALL, and it's a fast-paced ping pong with soccer mechanics. It's nuts.
I'm intrigued.
All right.
All right, last.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I this I'm just gonna pat myself on the back real quick. I don't think I've shared this with you guys,
Mm-hmm.
but
Oh.
Sean made me think about it. But since moving to Portland, I have lost 50 pounds.
Get out, really?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? I feel
Nice.
like it's
Drugs.
mostly from the fact that I don't drink
Drugs.
soda anymore, and
Oh.
and of course the rampant cocaine usage. But
The drugs.
Well, I've lost 31 pounds, but that was all due to stress.
Yeah, that was well, and I feel like that happened a lot quicker as well.
I gained all of
Yeah.
y'all's weight because I am.
You're 81
way-
pounds heavier.
No, not
it's
really.
You could tell in the cheeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you
That's
and
the wrong
Squirrel-
kind of cake.
Yeah, you and Squirrel Girl.
Our last comment comes from Kyle Boggs. He says, money got really tight and I had to sell my gaming stuff recently, so I'd like to get a console again. And I know he's a PlayStation guy. He was actually, I think I hooked him up with a PlayStation Portal when he was looking for one. So hopefully he can get that back in business. So
Kyle, it breaks
That's
my heart, man.
unfortunate.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've done that once or twice.
yeah. Well, that is our topic for the week. Thank you to everybody that wrote in. Thanks to my co-host for doing that. Next week, it goes without saying that our topic is going to be the Game Awards. So stay tuned and hopefully you'll be watching that with us.
What
That
do
early?
you think will win Game of the Year, Scott?
Oh boy. What do I think or what do I want?
What do you think?
I mean, it seems like Shadow of the Erd Tree is going to win. Like, why would they add it in there if they didn't? You know what I mean?
Depressing.
Yeah, but I think Astrobot has a legit chance, only because a few years ago It Takes Two won. So
Right.
a cute game can work, and I think this game is far superior to It Takes Two. I loved It Takes Two, but this is just
Right.
a bigger smile on my face game than that one even was. So yeah.
What about you, Jacob? What do you think will win?
I really hope it comes down to Astrobot or Black Myth. Because
Myth, really?
Yeah, I think that just came out of far left field. No one expected it to do as well as it did. And then it grabbed so much attention. It was really well received, and I don't know. I think some of the other ones are just remakes and redones and whatever. They've already had their years, and they should. And Balatron's a handheld game. Get out of here.
Oh my god, Alyssa, what do you think will win?
I'm going to say Astrobot just because of, how it incorporates PlayStation history into it and how accessible it is for most people. And how it's kind of bringing a new mascot to PlayStation, and
That's a good point too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Zack?
like it's Astrobot.
Astrobot. I am unfortunately with you, Scott. I think Shadow of the Erd Tree is going to win. When you look at the what sites and journalists vote on these things, just seems like that's going to be an easy pleaser. It's infuriating because I don't know if you saw, like, IGN did a poll where over 30,000 people responded if DLC should count as Game of the Year, and over 75% of people said no. So it really feels like the only people who think it should count are the Game Awards people, and that's really stupid. It's also, I mean, it just feels like it's such obvious From Software favoritism, because you didn't bend the rules for Cyberpunk. yeah. But
and that DLC was supposed to be like the best part of that
right?
game. Yeah.
And but no, but if Miyazaki needs another award,
true. Well, we will.
I hope it's Balatro. I think that'd be amazing.
I would love that.
It would make. I feel like it would make people so mad.
Could you imagine that one lone developer?
Right, he would have to show
year?
himself finally, right? Major Thunk, or is it Neighborhood Thunk? Is that his
Local
name?
Thunk?
Local Thunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he would show? Do you think he would wear like a Joker mask?
That'd be amazing.
Come out like Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be great. I think it would be really
electronic mask with Balatro across it.
I still want to know what they're gonna do for like the musical score for that, because how they always play like the musical performances.
Oh yeah, well, it's only got like the one song, right?
The ones, it's not even a song; it's just like a boom kind of thing at the beginning.
That'll be the intro for the medley.
Yeah, I don't know, but anyways,
cards flipping.
Yeah, they should just have like a magician on stage. Just do some
Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your card? Is this your...
Can you imagine Jeff Keighley's boyish charm? He'd be so amazed by this magician.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of the Gaming Outsider. Thanks so much for listening. As usual, this one was produced by Kevin Hankford, and all the music you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. You can find his website at stemagemusic.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. Zack, thanks so much for being here, man.
You're welcome.
You got any
Wow.
parting words or recommendations for our listeners?
Thank you for having me, Scott.
Always, man.
Well, I'm very late to the party, but I started Only Murders in the Building.
I hear
Oh,
that's
yeah.
so good. I haven't watched it yet.
Dude, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so funny. It's got very it's very twisty and turny. The episodes are short, little 30-minute bursts. Martin Short and Steve Martin are amazing together as always, but you slot in Selena Gomez, who I didn't realize would be the secret sauce to this.
She's a
But-
shockingly good actress.
Mhm.
She's great in the show. Yeah, I am. It's nice when something's so popular feels like it actually deserves it,
Mhm.
and it does. It's what a show. What
Did
a
you ever-
program.
Did you ever see the movie The Fundamentals of Caring with her?
Yes, that was so good.
No.
That was where I first realized she was a good. Because to me, she was always a musician. I always
Right.
thought she was.
my first interaction with her in any way.
Yeah, and in this movie, I was just like blown away. Holy cow, she can act! And man, that movie's great, dude. Paul Rudd.
Hmm.
Oh, The Fundamentals of Caring.
Yeah, I had recommended that one a long time ago. I don't know. It's got to be streaming somewhere now, but
I think wasn't it a Netflix movie?
I don't remember. Maybe it was, but that's worth a watch. It's funny and heartwarming, and like I said, Selena Gomez did. I mean, that was the first time I saw her act, and I was just kind of blown away. So,
Okay.
but that Murders in the Building, Only Murders in the Building, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Only Murders, because the podcast they do only covers Murders in the Building.
Mhm.
I've been wanting to watch that one for a while. I've just I think I get caught up. I made the mistake of going decided to rewatch Lost.
There is no mistake. That's not a mistake. That's a
Oh, but
gift to yourself.
I got CB watching it now too. He's already
All
finished
right.
a season.
Wow.
So yeah.
Great show. Great
Jake,
show.
how about you, man? Thanks for being here, by the way.
Oh, there it is. I was waiting.
Oh, it sounded a little like a
Not a-
pity.
not
Thank
as
you.
a- Yeah, it was.
I didn't
It
want
was.
him to yell
He
at
had to
me.
remember. So in the Christmas spirit, my wife has decided to rewatch all of the Harry Potter movies,
Okay.
which isn't Christmas at all, but I don't know why she chooses these
Ah,
times to rewatch.
there is a Christmas scene in almost every movie.
There is. That's true.
Yeah,
Yep.
there it is. But
They say Happy Christmas.
So-
Happy Christmas, Harry.
when my wife watches all of the Harry Potter movies, she constantly tells me how the books did it differently, how it happened for one of our first years together, I bought her the hardcover box set of the actual books, and so she's read through recently all of the books. But no, she constantly tells me how the books did it differently, what actually happened in the scene, blah blah whatever. So I've started listening to the audiobooks because I am not reading all of the books, but I've made it through the first book, narrated by Jim Dale, who did it originally. But then I found out that Stephen Fry, who is the voice of Little Big Planet, among other things,
Wheatley.
Mhm.
yeah.
No, that's Stephen
Um,
Merchant.
Oh yeah, Stephen Merchant. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
But I love his voice. He's a big voice in a lot of different things that I do love. And Mindy wants me to stay with Jim Dale because he reads it a certain way, and I want to try Stephen Fry. But there seems to be this huge uproar online that if you've heard it one way, you can't go to the other way, and it's just this big fight. So
Huh.
I'm going to try to listen to them both,
Yeah.
but
Now you're making me wonder because I listened to the entire series and I don't remember which narrator I had.
Like
So
you remember if it was Stephen Fry.
yeah,
probably.
I love his voice, but apparently my wife loves Jim Dale, so
Yeah, well,
We
like
will-
they do later Lord of the Rings audiobooks, but if I would never listen to it without Rob Inglis. So I understand where she's coming from.
Yeah.
I'm happy you're in love, Jacob, but if my wife was just constantly like pausing the movie or talking over it to tell me what was better about the book, I would.
Oh, it's not
I'd
even
be
like that.
present,
It gets worse because
yeah?
the way we have our room set up is I have a recliner, she has a recliner, we have a walkway in between, and then we have two about 60-inch TVs set up side by side. So she's watching her thing, I'm playing my game. She'll pause her thing and like lean over and start talking to me while I'm playing my game. But I do the exact same thing to her. So
Okay.
I mean, we go off each other, but that's our relationship.
So you're not even paying attention to the movie. She's just like, can you believe this troll was in the kitchen? He was in the
yeah. But
I looked it up. Mine was Jim Dale.
Okay. Yeah.
Interesting.
So,
I didn't know that was a big controversy. By the way, you said how different they are, but the first book is like pretty much spot on to the movie. If
I
remember
don't.
correctly.
Let me tell you how much I listen to my wife.
Oh, hope she's not listening. Let's get her. We'll get her on the podcast so she can tell Scott how wrong he is.
Yeah. No.
Married to the mic.
I had made a comment about the Married to the Mic episodes, and she looked at me. She goes, "I am not being on one of those episodes."
But she actually plays games a lot.
Yes, she does.
That would be a fantastic.
Actually, right now she went back and she's playing Medieval Dynasty.
Uh-huh.
I wrote the review on that either late last year or earlier this year, and she fell in love with that game. So she has almost played it more than Don't Starve, which is saying something.
That is saying
because
something.
she loves the Don't Starve games.
Nice. All right, Alyssa, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you got any parting words or recommendations?
I do, and we're returning back to the Korean corner this week.
Yeah.
I just watched. It's a new Netflix original K-drama, The Trunk. It has one of my favorite K-drama actors in it, Kong Yoo, and it's just a K-drama that centers on adult matters and adult themes. Definitely TVMA, but it's just really interesting. It's about this couple that they divorce. They say they're going to be divorced for a year, but they get into contract marriages each, and they're going to be married to different people for a year and then get back together with each other. And you see how that kind of,
What problems could there possibly arise?
What's that?
What problems could possibly arise?
Yeah, you see what happens with, them being in contract marriages and being apart. So it's really interesting. It's only 8 episodes long. They're about an hour a piece. And it's one of those shows that keeps you wanting to watch like episode after episode. It's just really interesting. And I've never seen Kong Yoo in a role like this before. And it was just great to see him in that way. So yeah, I highly recommend it. If you're an adult, you can watch it. And it's dubbed in like a million languages. So if you don't want to read subtitles, you can listen to people say the words awkwardly over the lips, moving in a different language.
Perfect. Just the way it was meant to be seen.
Yep.
Right. Bonjour.
All right, so I've got an interesting recommendation myself.
What's in the trunk?
What?
What's in the trunk?
Is it junk?
Yeah, it's actually it's a show about
Squirrel Girl.
Anyway, later this month, I am going to see. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's insanely popular, especially this time of year. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I'm going to see them live. This will be the 3rd time I've seen them live. And what's really interesting is that Trans-Siberian Orchestra did something. I went to go listen to some to get caught up on it, and they've actually created a playlist on Amazon and Apple Music, but not on Spotify for some reason. That is the actual set list that they're going to be playing at the concert, which I thought was kind of cool. So like if you're not familiar, you can actually just go listen to the ones that are going to be there, so you're familiar with them. So yeah, if you want to hear what's going to be on the tour, that whole playlist is fantastic. And if you get the opportunity to see them live, I cannot recommend it enough. The first 2 times I saw it, I have not seen a lights and pyrotechnic show of its equal. It is a sight to behold. Even if you aren't a big fan of Christmas music, it is worth every penny. And the tickets are shockingly affordable. They were like $60 or something.
Aren't you going with Kevin?
Yeah, me, Kevin, and our wives, we're all going together. So
I love the idea that you're never going to miss a Coheed show or a Trans-Siberian Orchestra show.
Yeah. By the way, Coheed announced their new tour. We're thinking of going up to Green Bay to see them.
Oh yeah,
3-hour drive. Maybe get a group and go tour the stadium while we're up there or something. I don't know.
That's nothing for a Coheed and Cambria fan, I imagine.
Well, like we wanted to go with his brother-in-law, but he lives in Ohio and he comes to Chicago all the time. We're like, well, let's go to the one in Ohio. You come to us, we'll go to you, but he's going to still be out of state during that show. So he's like, well, we can go to the one in Iowa. And I looked it up. It's like 4.5 hours away. I'm like, dude, why don't we just go to the one in Green Bay? It's only 3 hours away.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but we're going to go see them. And they're opening with two bands that are much heavier than Coheed or other bands that have opened for them in the past, which makes me think that the new album is going to be a little bit heavier in tone. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen there. So, all right, let's get out of here. This was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Until next week, I'm Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson, Alyssa White, and Jacob Gunderson, and we are The Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.